Okay, welcome to the live, you guys. And
Hey
of course,
everyone.
Charmaine's with us tonight. And of
Hello.
course,
Hey
and
Charmaine.
then Aspen Connor. But I was laughing because Docket, so I was talking a lot with Docket today, and we were just talking about you just right before we went live, actually, because I was saying how you were going to be doing, coming on a live at some point with us here, and about how you helped me with the files for the Carnes, Seth Carnes case as well. So I just want to say that I truly appreciate that. That was a
Absolutely.
lot of help. Thank you so much for doing that. So we also have the Soda, the mother, was arrested today, and of course, the Soda and you say the last name for the other guy, Adam.
Gara?
Yeah, I always have problems saying that one. Anyways, so we're gonna get right into it, you guys, today. So I'm just gonna say hello to everyone, and again, Charmaine's in the house, and we're gonna go over some case updates. I know, like, there's some that I don't have in here, but that's okay because it took a long time as it was just to do the ones that we're going to be talking about today. I know that there's a lot more, like Rex Heuermann and Murdaugh and
Oh,
stuff like that. But we're going to start off actually.
right there.
This
Those are two I left off when I sent you that message. I was like, I know I'm missing some.
Yeah, right? Honestly, I was like all afternoon. I was, you know, that as a creator, it's like when you're making a video and stuff, you have to go get the information or get the clipping that you want to show, and it takes a long time, especially if you're
Mhm.
talking about multiple cases and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So hi Shelly, hi Diana, Marianne, boys, Mustangs in the house, and like I said, Docket. At Docket, he was like subbed, and I'm like, thank you. I was subbed to him already. Like I remember. So Docket we know from Twitter. Okay. So
Right.
if anyone doesn't know Docket, let's talk about Docket. Okay. Let's just talk about Docket. Okay. He's probably gonna get bored of hearing his name in a second. Now, Docket, correct me if I'm wrong, because I really want to say that your name is Eric for some reason. I feel like I seen the name Eric somewhere on your Twitter when people would say thanks, Eric. So I'm pretty sure it's Eric. I could be wrong. So I'll stay safe and say Docket for right now. But if
Right.
anyone doesn't know Docket, he has a Twitter that's called, is it called Chasing Paper?
Yeah.
And on Twitter. And,
It's. I mean, it is an invaluable tool. A lot of. I mean, when I'm looking for legal documents, I don't mean to cut you off, something, but it's like if I can't get them from the courts directly,
that's right.
inevitably Docket got them already, and so and I mean, it takes a lot of time, diligence, and patience to put in the work that he does to put all of that online for everyone, and I think
Oh,
that's
yeah.
such
And
I'm
costly
so
as well,
grateful.
For sure.
and things usually cost money.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna drop his Twitter link here. But he also has. So I didn't know for quite a while until I think he was doing a live, and I seen it on his thing. I was like, oh, he has a YouTube channel as well. So that was a couple months ago. So I've popped in a couple times um, when he has been doing lives. Stalking. I do that really well. But anyways, so there's his Twitter account for Chasing Paper. And he also has a YouTube channel as well.
Right.
And I'm going to find that quickly as well because I had it up earlier.
It's a lot of thankless work, but I just want you to know that there are people out there that appreciate it
Oh,
great.
Absolutely.
absolutely. When I first heard of the docket a few months back, and then he actually like followed me back actually. So I was like, oh, sweet. Those are little things in life that just make you happy. Um, so let me see here. I've got his YouTube channel right here as well. Hey guys, hey everyone coming in. And this is Eric. So Eric, in my head, I did have ERIC, so I did have that right because that's what I call it. Telepathy, call it what you want. But I was like, that kept crossing my head. I'm going, I'm pretty sure his name's Eric, but I don't want to look like an idiot and say Eric if it's not Eric. And I hadn't had time to go back and look to find it. To see. Oh, I tried once, then I gave up after a few minutes. But anyways, so that's his Twitter. So if anyone really honestly is looking for dockets, usually Eric will have them on Twitter. He follows and does so much work for that. And then he has his YouTube channel that he's been
Right.
doing like a lot of different lives. And I'd have to go look at it again, but I know that I think it says that like the Ticario case is starting tomorrow. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. And I can't remember. I'd have to go back and look at that case because there's so many different cases going on, as you know. Like there's just so many with that. Donna Adelson and whatever. What's her name? The wife. Can't think of the wife's name all of a sudden. But anyways, that Adelson case, Greg Karen Reed case, the Gypsy Rose Blanchard. Hence, my last name is Blanchard too.
Oh,
anyways,
by the way, up to 14 million social media followers.
Yes, when I was looking at it yesterday,
she was at 3 or 4, and then I'm like, boom, 14.
Crazy. Troconis, that's it. Troconis. Okay. It was funny because I was literally just looking at her Instagram, and it was like 8 million just the other day, and it's like it's absurd. Do you want to be related to me? Because, like I said, I'm pretty sure she'll fall in my heritage somewhere along the line, of the Blanchard last name. It's not a very common last name. And like I said, I took it back to 1460. I thought that was pretty cool. But I didn't start veering off to the side branches, I just went straight up that line and was like, oh, a lot of O's along the way. But but anyways, so I feel like messaging her and going, I think I'm a relative. No, just kidding. You want to come do a live with us? No. I don't know. I could be that shallow, to be honest. Well, I don't know. But anyways, I was watching a lot of her case the other day. A very tragic, sad case all around, to be honest, with her case.
Yeah.
And okay, so as for Eric Dockett, again, YouTube channel, Twitter, great wealth of information, you guys. Again, he has his coffee app and stuff like that. It costs a lot of money. I wish I knew more how to do all that stuff, which I don't, and I kind of avoid it. And probably being in Canada, I'm not sure if it's a little bit different if I request information. I don't think so. I wouldn't think so, but I don't know, actually. Like all these different trials that are going on and stuff like that, or how to like the Indiana we're familiar with more so on how to get stuff, but when it comes to the other states
a little different.
Yeah, each one is different,
right.
And stuff like that. But anyways, hi Babs. She's always showing your love. So anyways, thank you so much, Dockett, for getting the Seth Carnes affidavit and the warrants there. And thank you again, actually, for posting this one. Because I was scrolling down going, dude, I was looking for something. I can't remember now. But anyways, and I was like, ooh, he just posted this one. And I was like, sweet, thanks on there. Yeah, thank you so much. Okay, so Adam, let's get into it.
Yeah. What's on the screen right now, this is the affidavit for the arrest warrant. For anyone that hasn't, I actually still haven't seen the perp walk because I barely had a minute free today.
Ooh.
But
do you want to watch it first or do this first?
That's up to you. Has everyone seen the perp walk?
Probably not.
I haven't. I've been swamped today as well.
Well, let's read this first and then we'll do it. Just since
let's
I have
it. I apologize if I butchered the name, but so what we're talking about is the fact that there was a third arrest made today in the Matthew Guerra Savannah SoDo case, and I believe this was the mother of the kid that they got arrested.
Stepmother,
and I think I'm gonna hope I don't butcher her name. Is it Murda?
Murda, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. So I'm just gonna read this. This is the affidavit for her arrest warrant. This is the undersigned Detective Jeremy Goodwin, being a peace officer under the laws in the state of Texas and being duly sworn on oath, makes the following statement and accusations. A victim in the case has been identified as Savannah Nicole SoDo, date of birth August 22nd, 2005, hereinafter referred to as Victim 1. A victim in this case has been identified as Matthew Gabriel Guerra, date of birth October 26th, 2001, hereinafter referred to as Victim 2. An actor in this case, a bad actor in this case, has been identified as Murda Romanos, date of birth August 7th, 1976, herein referred to as the defendant. Said defendant is further identified in SAPD computer files as SID 563871. It is the belief of your affiant that the offense of PC 3709, tampering with evidence, was committed on or about the 21st of December 2023 in Bexar County, Texas. Your affiant has probable cause for said belief by reason of the following facts. On December 23rd, 2023, Leon Valley Police received a call for the missing person report. Family of the missing person stated she was supposed to be induced for her pregnancy and did not show up for her appointment. The family advised that they had not been able to get a hold of the female and stated she was not answering her phone. A check of the hospitals was conducted by the family, and it was found that the female was not at any of the hospitals. It was found that the female lived with her boyfriend. However, the family of the boyfriend advised they were not able to get in touch with him as well. The female was entered as a missing person by Leon Valley. Further investigation found that the female and her boyfriend were not responding to any phone calls, and their whereabouts were unknown. Media broadcast on the news the story of the missing female and her boyfriend. Media broadcasts on the news. That doesn't make sense. On the news, the story of the missing female and her boyfriend in the media. Her boyfriend's car description was broadcast in the media and was said to be a 2013 gray Kia Optima. On December 26, 2023, a resident at 5903 Danny Kane Drive messaged the family of the female and advised that they believed the vehicle was parked at 5903 Danny Kane Drive. The family contacted Leon Valley and drove to the location. Upon Leon Valley Police arrival at the location, Leon Valley Police observed the vehicle. Inside of the vehicle was a deceased pregnant female in the front seat and a deceased male in the back seat of the vehicle. San Antonio police were contacted, and your affiant made the location. Upon arrival to the location, your affiant observed the vehicle. The vehicle was a 2013 Kia Optima with a Texas license plate of TRC 9447. Your affiant checked the VIN number, and the VIN number was the same VIN number that was broadcast on the news for the missing couple. A check of the information through NCIC, TCIC showed the vehicle belonged to the boyfriend of the female. Your affiant observed the front right passenger side of the vehicle. Your affiant observed a deceased pregnant female inside of the front right passenger seat. Due to your affiant's knowledge of the female on a previous murder case from 2022, your affiant recognized the female to be that of the missing female. The female appeared to have trauma to her head. The affiant then observed the back seat of the vehicle. Your affiant observed a deceased male in the back seat of the vehicle. The deceased male resembled the boyfriend to the female. The male had an apparent gunshot wound to his head. It appeared the male had been dragged into the vehicle. Your affiant did not observe any weapon near the male. A search warrant was requested so entry into the vehicle could be conducted. While waiting for the search warrant, your affiant spoke to the families of the female and the male. It was found that the boyfriend to the female sold narcotics and would use his phone through cellular communications as well as social media to sell narcotics. It was
The docket super chat, $19.99. Thank you.
Oh, well, we're just going to have to stop right there and see. That was unexpected because I'm on a different page, eh? Thank you, the docket.
Thank you so much, Docket.
I should be more like donating that to him for the help that he had given me.
Right, I know. I was thinking. Sorry, I just squirrel. I was thinking about that when I saw, because weren't like the Epstein, weren't there like 14,000 pages, and I don't know if you had to pay for that or not, but I was like, my goodness.
Yeah, did you?
I can't imagine what the cost would be. So
honestly, so the Epstein one we're staying away from. I honestly don't want to get into that one. It's just too big. It's like I don't know enough about it, and I don't think that I want to.
I mean, it's a horrible case, but sadly, it turns real political real fast.
Yeah.
135. Wow.
Yeah. So did you?
That's just out of your pocket.
Yeah, that's crazy. Well, like I said, so and anyone that's following the docket or happens to go to the YouTube channel, honestly, you guys, I highly recommend that you definitely sub and definitely add him on Twitter, or follow him on Twitter and stuff like that. Really, when you want a lot of up-to-date documents that are going on, and again, he has his coffee app on Twitter and stuff like that. Help the guy out. I I don't know the docket that well. We've only spoke a couple of times, but he strikes me very much as someone with a very, very caring heart. And I remember we were just talking about this because I was a little bit perturbed that the Carnes one, this one guy just showed a piece of it, a piece of the affidavit. It's like, dude, just put the freaking document out, type of thing. And it was some sort of reportery type guy or whatever he was. And then, Docket's like, well, that's kind of why I do a lot of this, is because, it's kind of like he just wants to help people give the information. And then when he was talking today as well, as his channel and, stuff grows and whatever, he said he would like to help out domestic violence causes,
That's awesome.
Yeah, exactly. And you guys know, I talk about my personal stuff with you guys now and stuff like that about the domestic violence and different stuff. Anyways, genuineness, pureness. Not that we're without sin in our lives, but anyone that just, like I said, I respect people that are just genuine, true, nothing to hide, just be themselves, and are just got very caring.
Thank you, Diana.
Thank you, Diana.
Thank you so much, Diana.
$5. Thank you.
Thank you, Diana. But so you guys know that right now, for instance, like the people that follow us, our true followers, have so much love, and we don't put up with bullshit in this channel at all. This is a caring place, a caring space, and we don't put
unless
up with
it's from one of us.
Unless it's one of us trolling you. That's different. Yeah, we can, right? Yeah, that's different. And Grandma Soras, I mean, just because she changed her name to Grandma Soras, and I know she did it because of the fact of she just likes me saying, hey, Grandma Soras, even though it used to be Grandma Watches. But anyways, I just really respect people that do things to help others, and again, usually asking nothing in return, but obviously those people that do things like the docket is doing, and a lot of people,
that's
so many people use
time
that.
consuming.
Oh, it's time consuming, it's costly, and it's helping out a ton of people.
Yeah.
Like I said, I heard of the docket a few months back. Like I would say, I don't even know now. Was it 6 months ago, 7 months ago, or whatever? And I'm like, oh, sweet. So he's like the go-to person, really, when you want to try to find documents. Sometimes Jennifer Coffindaffer has her own, but typically the docket has a ton of the paperwork. So
she probably gets them from him.
Yeah, he's an honorary grizzly at the docket. Anyways, appreciate people that are just out there to try to either help people out and bring some more kindness to the world and generosity and unselfishness. Yeah.
Okay. We've kissed the docket's ass enough.
No, I feel like I've only got like $2 into this, really.
I'm just kidding.
Anyways, okay, so
you guys are the ones that are gonna have to like bear with me when I try to find my place back reading this.
It's somewhere amidst that section.
Right here.
Okay, done kissing ass. I'll be right back.
The family provided the affiant with the phone number of the. Oh nope, I was wrong. It was also advised the boyfriend would post money and narcotics on Instagram. It was stated the people wanted to rob the boyfriend, and it was stated that the boyfriend had been shot at before. The family provided your affiant with the phone number of the female. The family of the male provided your affiant with his phone number as well as his Instagram. When the search warrant arrived at the location, a search of the vehicle was conducted. The search found spent shell casings in the vehicle. However, there was no weapon recovered in the vehicle. There was apparent blood transfer on the outside of the vehicle that was not consistent with the boyfriend causing harm to the female. Both the female and the male had gunshot wounds to the head, and the male also had apparent drag marks on his back. It was believed that the female and the male were killed at a different location, and the vehicle was driven to the recovered location. During the further investigation, your affiant found surveillance video at 5903 Danny K. The video surveillance found that on December 21st, 2023, at around 23:59 hours, so 11:59 p.m., a Chevrolet Silverado gray driving with its lights off from the vehicle recovered location. The Silverado pulled in the middle of the back parking lot and parked the vehicle. The victim's vehicle could be seen approaching the Chevrolet Silverado. The victim's vehicle parked next to the Silverado. A heavy-set male exited the Silverado, and the driver's side door of the victim's vehicle opened. A heavy-set male approached the driver.
Oh, 1 second.
Thank you, Gail.
That was Purdue RN got a gifted membership from Diana. Hey,
Oh, awesome.
yeah. Which reminds me. Go ahead.
I was just bragging. Deb and I were just gushing over Purdue earlier tonight. Like we were chatting about if I were to ever come visit Indiana, and we were talking about. I was like, well, I want to meet Purdue if I come. So I'm glad that Purdue got the membership.
All right. I was going to say, because, and if anyone doesn't know, YouTube is allowed, YouTubers have, how do I say that? They've gifted 10, they've given each channel 10 a month to gift of those memberships. And we used up 5 like a few days ago. So I still have 5 left to use at some point this month here as well. So that was really nice of YouTube to do that. I like the way that YouTube is always trying to do things to help the creators, earn a little extra, give back to the community and stuff like that. It's always really nice. So that was really nice that 10 a month now we can gift out for people.
Do you get to pick who gets them?
No, it just gifts 5 and gifts 5 on there. But anyway, so that was really cool. Okay, we'll let Adam talk again. Sorry,
Adam. If anyone else wants to donate, I'll lose my place again.
Yeah, I know.
I'm gonna start with heavy set male. Set male exited the Silverado, and the driver's side of the victim's vehicle opened. The heavy set male approached the driver of the victim's vehicle and appeared to speak to the driver. The heavy-set male then got a towel from his vehicle and appears to wipe down the outside of the victim's vehicle door where he had touched the vehicle. Surveillance video appeared to show a third person. Wonder who was talking about that.
Actually, okay, show a third person.
Throw the towel to the heavy-set male, which led police to believe that a second person was inside of the Chevrolet Silverado. The driver of the victim's vehicle exited the vehicle for a brief moment and sat back in the driver's seat. The driver did not match the description of the female victim or the male victim. The Hispanic male got back into his vehicle. The victim's vehicle drove behind the building where the vehicle was found on December 26, 2023. The Silverado followed the victim's vehicle. Approximately 3 minutes later, the Silverado was observed leaving from behind the building where the victim's vehicle was found. The victim's vehicle did not leave the location. It was believed that the victims were already deceased in the vehicle at the time of the video observed. It is believed that the unknown driver and heavyset male parked the victim's vehicle at the location in an effort to hide the vehicle. On January 2nd, 2024, your affiant provided one of the victim's cell phones to Detective Knox at the Technical Investigations Unit. On January 3rd, 2024, your affiant received the phone download from Detective Knox. Your affiant found that the victim had recently searched the street of Charlie Chan Drive. Due to your affiant's knowledge of the crime scene area, your affiant was aware that Charlie Chan Drive was a couple of blocks away from the victim's vehicle recovery location. Your affiant was able to discover that the victim's vehicle pinged near Charlie Chan Drive and Cary Grant Drive around 23:50 hours on the night they went missing. The vehicle did not start moving again until 23:54 hours. The vehicle then traveled to 5903 Danny K Drive, where the victims and their vehicles were discovered on December 26, 2023. Your affiant conducted computer searches and was able to locate a vehicle that looked identical to the suspect vehicle seen on camera with the victim vehicle. Your affiant did research on the owners of the vehicle and found the owner of the vehicle matched the description of the male that exited the vehicle on camera. Heavyset guy. Homicide detectives went to vehicle location listed above and found the listed vehicle at the location. While at the residence on Charlie Chan, a person identified as Ramon, I can never pronounce it,
Gura?
Pracoda? Persadio, reported knowing why SAPD was at his residence. Ramon Persadio informed SAPD detectives to speak with his son, identified as Christopher. Ramon and Christopher were transported to SAPD homicide to speak with your affiant, while additional SAPD detectives searched the residence on Charlie Chan Drive under the authority of a search warrant. Your affiant spoke with Ramon after Ramon was read the Miranda warnings. Ramon admitted to driving his Chevrolet Silverado to 5903 Danny K Drive, where he met Christopher. Ramon identified himself on surveillance video from 5903 Danny K Drive as the person observed exiting the Chevy Silverado. Ramon reported meeting Christopher at the apartment complex, who was driving another vehicle. This vehicle is the vehicle in which Matthew and Savannah were found deceased. Ramon admitted to assisting Christopher at 5903 Danny K Drive. Your affiant then spoke with Christopher after Christopher was read the Miranda warnings. Christopher reported Matthew and Savannah drove to his residence on Charlie Chan Drive to sell Christopher marijuana. Christopher went on to provide a version of events that were inconsistent with evidence collected at the scene and from the victim's recovered vehicle. Christopher claimed that the male victim pointed a weapon at him, and Christopher was able to manipulate the weapon, resulting in the female being shot. Christopher then stated that the weapon pointed at him again, and he manipulated the weapon again, resulting in the male victim being shot. On January 4th, 2024, your affiant spoke to Murda Romanos. Murda stated on the night of the incident, she was at her residence, 5735 Charlie Chan Drive, with Ramon and Christopher. Murda could not recall the events of the night and stated she thought she was sleeping.
Right.
During the search of Murda's residence, Murda's bedroom door was locked. Homicide detectives inquired about unlocking the door, and Murda provided the key to unlock the door. Murda stated that she kept the door locked and was the only person to have the key to the room. During the search of the room, a firearm, later forensically matched to the shell casing recovered in the victim's vehicle, was found concealed in the room. During Murda's interview, Murda was questioned about the recovered firearm. Murda claimed the firearm was hers, and it was given to her by a family member. On January 5th, your affiant was notified that the firearm recovered in the closet of Murda forensically matched the shell casing recovered from the victim's vehicle. Due to the statements made by Murda, Murda intentionally concealed the firearm in an attempt to impair its availability as evidence during an investigation. Your affiant has reason to believe, and does believe, the said defendant, Murda Romanos, on or about the 21st day of December 2023 in Bexar County, Texas, concealed evidence in an attempt to impair its availability as evidence during an investigation in violation of section blah 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 blah. And
I think that's it. Right? That should be it. Okay. So let's come back on here. Okay, and then we'll get.
I was already well into reading that before I was like, I wanted to be like, you know what, we've read all, because the affidavit was pretty much exactly the same until the very end.
You know, I wonder if they realize, if they have the ability from the outside looking in, just to realize what a bunch of bullshit that they are telling.
Yeah, it sounds like a bunch of hooey.
You mean the perpetrators?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, just from the whole, because we knew that a towel was thrown, and that's why Daisy keeps calling you towel boy, because you said a towel. So you knew that there was another person definitely there for sure. I wasn't thinking that it was the stepmom that was going to be arrested.
Right.
But
I
locks the
wasn't sure if
door.
maybe the brother
Right.
or just a friend.
Yeah, right. Or, another child or whatever. But from the ridiculousness of how he, managed to point the gun and then shoot Savannah and then, somehow managed to get it again in self-defense, which I claimed right away. He's going to claim self-defense. Dude, your story sucks and it's going to fail in every part of the way in court. And then for the dad, like, what a bunch of tools. You guys know what tools mean, idiots?
Yes.
Hey, Travis. Why keep right? And then be stupid enough to sit there, lock it in the bedroom like a freaking moron, and then lock it in the
Look at
bedroom.
Richard Allen.
And then, like,
I mean, allegedly.
Right?
Like,
it's just stupidest criminals, the dumbest criminals, And it just and just listening to this, like, well, yeah, like, I mean, every day I lock the door and I'm the only one that has the key. Of course you do, Merida. Of course you lock the door all the time. Yeah, after you hid the gun, sure. Then you started locking your door and stuff like that. Anyways, you know what? If they're so stupid enough to participate in trying to cover up the crime, again, do the crime, you do the time. Simple as that. So, unreal. It's just such a tragic case, that Savannah, that Matthew, which is my son's name, and that baby Fabian, was meant to be due. Like, I don't, like, it's one of those things that when you think about it, she was overdue, she was set to be induced, and
Right.
sometimes you just shake your head at the skies and go, like, why? Because it's just so senseless.
Right. Without their interference, that baby probably would have gotten to celebrate experience their first Christmas. That baby never even got the chance.
It's you guys all know that I hate talking about cases, especially involving children, because to me, children are presents to be adorned. Although my son, has his own issues with me since our divorce 10 years ago. But like I said, if anyone knew the story, they would know that for me, when you give birth to that child, it's your job. It's for you to set them on the right course and do the right thing. I could never sit there and go, hey, you know what? Let me just cover up murder for you, son. Would not, could not. I don't care. I couldn't do it. It's just not in me. It's like, I believe in accountability. If you do something, right, nobody forces you to do anything. You're in control. Well, I mean, besides those little odd different things way out there in the world. But other than that, you're in control of your own thoughts and your own actions. And it's just unbelievable to me that like, I'd like to know the full true story. Hopefully that will come out. The full true story. Was it just marijuana? Did the parents were they just part of trying to cover it up?
I'm sure. But bottom line, I feel like some loser coward did a horrible cowardly thing.
Oh, absolutely. Anyways,
and over what? A bag of weed,
If that's
not that there's any amount that would be worth doing what he did, but
well, that's just the thing. Like we talked about before, when Jennifer Coffindaffer said something like again that either somebody didn't pay enough or money or ripped off or whatever. No, it's more than that. Trust me, it's more than that. It's either that it was planned that this guy was going to take it, but it wouldn't just be like that he got ripped off, a little bit, of a thing. He probably ordered a bunch and then, ordered quite a bit of stuff, I'm sure, or whatever it was. And then, wanted to pop them. And it's just before Christmas. A lot of crimes happen just before Christmas.
True.
And they just do because people get desperate, they're broke. The holidays bring a lot of sadness because of victims that have died during that time. And it's kind of a depressing time of the season, for a lot of people, for a lot of different reasons. Maybe they're lonely, and they have nobody they think about their past and their past Christmases and stuff like that. Depression kicks in and stuff like that. Again, crime, stealing things. And it's just a very sad world, to be honest. Sad world.
Help your kid cover this up, and then go on and make sure you put that Facebook post on your business page wishing everyone a Merry Christmas 3 days later.
That was disgusting too. Okay, so Charmaine, before we move on to the Seth Carnes case, is there anything that you wanted to say
About this?
Yeah.
No, it's I don't think that we're ever going to know the truth, because the only people that were there are liars and deceased, unfortunately. Obviously, law enforcement is doing their job, and if it goes to trial, we'll hear their version of events and where the evidence points. But as for knowing the actual truth and what it was over, seriously doubt that we'll know. I mean, I would bet that it's not just weed.
It's probably going to be a text message.
He was into heavier drugs. He was into selling firearms and all this other stuff. So there's no way to know. There might be some kind of trail that law enforcement will find to prove otherwise. But to do this over weed, mind you, I can't say much of anything. Like, we know my brother did, in my opinion, worse for less. So.
Well, I was going to say, there's definitely going to be a trail. Like, these people are stupid. There's probably going to be a text of trail of messages going on between it. That's probably going to come out, I bet you.
The positive thing as far as finding out the motive to this is that one of these three, I'm thinking probably the mom or the stepmom or the dad is gonna buckle under pressure immediately. Look at the dad immediately was like, "Yep, that's me in the video. You need to talk to my son." I mean,
yeah.
And so, I mean, one of them is gonna turn super quick if they haven't already, and probably lay out the details to law enforcement. And as long as they can verify they're true, I think that the families might get an answer. But Travis says that is it affiant?
Yes,
so
I think it's affiant.
Did I just say affiant like 17,000 times incorrectly?
Yeah, because
affiant. I apologize.
I did the same thing as you. I think I kept saying affiant, thinking that I had heard it said that way, but I think it's affiant because I remember when I heard it too. That I was like,
I'm going to get that law degree as soon as I pass Latin.
Yeah. Anyways, so thank you guys. So now we're going to move on now to the Seth Carnes case. And again, thanks to the docket for providing me with this. And I sent it over to Travis Williamson, even though it happened in Williamson County Sheriff. Travis, by chance, we could be better friends if you own Williamson County. If that name happens to be part of your heritage and you're like, I don't know, perhaps. But anyways, Travis Williamson, a lawyer that has helped us out a lot with the Delphi case, and to us is a good friend of the channel. And we thank you very much, Travis, for all that you do for us as well. And Gail just gifted a membership to somebody. Let's see who got that. Travis. Oh, Travis, you cheap mother. No, just kidding. Travis. Travis, while you have this membership, I swear that we'll take you on. Oh, it doesn't say anything else of that. Anyways, congratulations, Travis. And so we promise that we will take you on an Sun Sunny Air membership airline cruise around the world, and we'll take you to Alcatraz. Okay? Promise. Well, during this month.
I mean, he did what most lawyers do, just pass the buck on and bill the taxpayers. I'm just kidding, Travis.
Anyways, thank you so much, Gil, for doing that. It's always so great when people gift memberships, because not only does it help the channel, but it also pays it forward to somebody else. So thank you very much for doing so. If anybody isn't a member, wants to become a member, it's $1.99. But when somebody does gift you one, you become a Rabbit PI, which is like the $3.99 one. So anyways, thank you so much, Gail, for doing that. And Travis, now you can play with the emoticons again. Okay, so let's get into this part of the case again. So let me just go to my paperwork here. So this is the arrest report. Not really going to get into that part too much. We really just want to get to the bones of the case here, the meat and bones, right, Adam? The meat and the bones.
You mean meat and potatoes?
Oh yeah, that's it. Meat and potatoes. I should have known that. I love my meat and potatoes. Why couldn't I remember saying that? Okay, so we'll start off here, and it says, in the name by authority of the state of Texas, the undersigned affiant. Is that right? Affiant? Affiant? Yeah, I think that's what. Am I saying it right, Adam? Affiant?
Affiant,
Affiant.
I think.
Yeah, now Travis has got me all flustered now. Affiant, who, after being duly sworn under the oath, makes the following statement. My belief of the foregoing statement is based upon personal knowledge. So I have good reason to believe and do believe that Seth Brian Carnes, on or about the 8th of January, 2024, and before the making and filing of this complaint in Williamson County, Texas, did therein knowingly or intentionally commit the offense of capital murder, PC. I, Detective Peter Parks, being duly sworn, do state upon my oath that I have good reason to believe, I do believe, well, that's a weird sentence. Okay, I have good reason to believe, I do believe, and I charge therefore. Travis, if only they could make it so much, if they could just dummy down some of this writing and make it a little easier. Heretofore, and I charge heretofore that before filing of this complaint, Seth Brian Carnes, on or about the 8th day of January 24th in Williamson County, Texas, did then and there intentionally shoot and kill Alfred Carnes and Susan Carnes, which is Alfred Carnes was a judge, a retired judge, and Susan Carnes being the mother, of course. What a sick, twisted child. In their residence with a black 12-gauge shotgun. Wow. Through the course of the investigation, the affiant has learned the following facts. My name is Detective Peter Parks, and I have been commissioned as a peace officer by Williamson County Sheriff's Office in the state of Texas since 2005. I have been a detective with Williamson County Office since 2017 and had the duty to investigate a variety of cases to include, but not limited to, murder. On or about the 8th of January 2024 at 11:40 p.m., Williamson County Sheriff's Office deputies were dispatched to 310 County Road in Georgetown, Williamson, Texas, in reference to a report of the shooting. Allison Carnes called 911 and stated that her father, Seth Carnes, so Allison is Seth Carnes' daughter. Okay. Shot her grandfather, Alfred Carnes. As patrol duties arrived on the scene, Seth Carnes exited the residence with one hand up in the air and one hand holding a coffee mug. Really, dude. Deputy Castro and Deputy Stapp ordered Seth Carnes to the ground, and he was detained at the time. Okay, come on, I just gotta stop right there. Really? He's holding a coffee mug? Did he have a smoke as well? Like, isn't that just disgusting? Anyways, so both Deputy Castro and Deputy Stepp advised that Seth Carnes stated that he had just killed his mother and father, Susan and Alfred Carnes. Patrol deputies then entered the residence and observed Alfred laying on the floor in the living room area. They also observed a black shotgun with a spent shell casing located in the kitchen area near the living room. Patrol deputies located Susan in the upstairs bedroom of a converted garage was attached to the main residence by a breezeway. Never heard that term, breezeway. I was contacted by Sergeant Pearson, and he requested that I be en route to 310 as the lead detective. Upon my arrival, I made contact with patrol deputies as they provided me with the details as stated above. I made entry into the residence and observed Alfred to be laying on his back in the middle of the living room. Patrol deputies advised that Alfred was previously located approximately 5 feet away near a recliner, and he was moved so life-saving measures could be performed. Alfred's obvious injuries consisted with a shotgun wound to his left elbow, inner forearm, as well as left side of his rib cage. I then went to the converted garage where Seth resides and went to Seth's room, which is on the second floor in the last room at the end of the hallway. I observed Susan laying on her back on the floor of the bedroom. Susan had bandages on and near the left shoulder and left collarbone area, which were applied by EMS. I observed I observed Alfred and Susan Carnes to both be deceased upon my arrival at the scene. I made contact with Sergeant Pearson in my chain of command, and it was determined that I would conduct an interview with Seth, who was in custody at the Williamson County office with the assistance of Detective Rudy Pina. Seth Carnes was transported to the Williamson County Sheriff's Office by Deputy Castro, and we entered the interview room 1. Identified myself as Detective Pina to Seth, and then read Seth his Miranda rights. Seth advised that he understood his rights and agreed to speak to me. During the interview, I asked Seth Carnes to tell me about what happened, and he stated that he really didn't know, but that he did knew, no, he shot his mother and father. He further stated that he used a Remington 870 shotgun that was previously located in his next to his nightstand. Seth Carnes advised that he then believed that his mother was trying to put a sleeping pill in his mouth, and he did not want to take it. I asked Seth if there was any other reason as to why he shot his mother other than sleeping pill, and he stated that's it. I asked if there was a reason that he shot his father, and he said, I've just been looking for something, and I figured I would just finish the job. At the time, Seth advised that he did not wish to talk anymore, and I left the interview room. This case was staffed with ADA Felicia at the Williamson County District Attorney's Office. Based on my initial investigation and my interview with Seth Carnes, I believe that Seth Carnes intentionally and knowingly caused the death of Susan and Alfred Carnes by shooting them both with a Remington 870 shotgun, therefore murdering more than one person during the criminal transaction. The affiant is a commissioned peace officer for the Williamson County, Texas, and believes that the above described occurrence of events, etc., on there. And that's the warrant of the arrest. Yeah. Okay. Not gonna no need to look at that, but that's just that's all the information that was sent. And let's see, what's this say? Anything? I'm not gonna read that either. That's just the laws about it. So, anyways, okay. So let me come back. Oh, I already am here. Okay. So just like, can you just picture that? Like, just take out my parents. Oh, hands up. Here's my coffee. Like, honestly, sick. Like, this person had issues, right, with the rap sheet that he has. Hey,
Coffee his parents probably paid for.
Yeah. What an ungrateful little SOB. No, an old SOB, a child. Just. And now, I had read that there was 9 siblings total. I haven't confirmed that. Someone had just put that on the dockets when he had posted it that said that there was 9 children or whatever. Again, just a devastating case. And we need to go back in a second, you guys, and go watch the Perp walk, don't we? Is there an order for a psych eval with it? Oh, is there an order for a psych eval with it? Let me just take a look here. Just the warrant. Let's see.
Well, you're looking for that. Charmaine, what are your thoughts on this case? I had not followed it because I didn't get a chance to watch the live last night, so I didn't see it until today.
Yeah, like I was saying before, this really kind of screams mental health to me. I'm never not surprised when a child, no matter their age, kills their parents, especially something like this where it doesn't seem to be a case of ongoing abuse. And obviously it's not a teenager going through teenage angst or rebellion or something silly like that even. This is just another one of those why cases that we'll have to wait for trial to find out exactly what happened. And my heart goes out to Travis because I know this one is close to home for him.
Travis knew this judge.
Oh, wow.
Absolutely.
This is terrible.
Well, Travis is the one that sent me the case. And so he knew Judge. And I think he went by Bert, even though his first name is Alfred. So, it's just horrific. You have this judge that's being attacked, just the other day. Then you have, again, the son, murdering his own parents. And the docket. So I sorry I didn't see that originally. I was scrolling too fast. So bail was denied, but this is where it talks about the assessment, Charmaine.
Mhm.
So it just says the magistrate has determined that there's reasonable cause to believe that Seth, date of birth, blah blah blah, has a mental illness or is a person with an intellectual disability. The defendant is incarcerated at the Williamson County Jail, Georgetown, Texas, and is charged with coarse capital murder. What does this say? It is therefore ordered that, pursuant to the Texas Code of Criminal Procedure, Article 16.22, Blue Bonnet Trails, Williamson County, LMHA, collect information regarding whether the defendant has a mental illness as defined by the Texas Health and Safety Code section, or is a person with an intellectual disability as defined by the Texas Health and Safety Code section. Provide the magistrate a written assessment of the information. The written assessment must be completed on the form approved by the Texas Correctional Office on offenders with medical or mental impairments under Texas Health and Safety Codes. It must include, if applicable, the information obtained from any previous assessment of the defendant and information regarding previously recommended treatment. It is therefore ordered that, unless good cause is shown, the assessment must be submitted to the magistrate within 96 hours. Initial, if the defendant is in custody, which obviously is initial. Okay. Sorry. Thank you, docket, because I was thinking it was just talking about the bail part after that.
Travis wants to go back and hear the part again in the PC about selling narcotics. Do you remember where that was?
Selling narcotics. Are we talking about it was Seth in this one?
Yeah.
Let's see here.
Hey, Sonny.
Yeah.
So, you know how
Nope.
the internet says to pronounce that word?
That the what?
Do you know how the internet site says to pronounce that word?
How?
Let me just play it for you.
Affiant.
Okay, Adam, this is not how you get your law degree through Travis. Okay.
I just wanted to be prepared.
Affiant.
But I'm like, well, I was saying affiant. So is Travis wrong?
Well, Travis has been.
Of course, Travis is not wrong.
He might be a lawyer, but he's not the internet.
Remember when we were talking about what was it, Sua Sponte or Sua? What was it?
Sponte, yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
And how different there was. Remember those words that Travis was saying? How it said different ways depending.
Process.
Don't tell Travis, but I think that we're right. I like affiant better.
Okay, while we're on a lighter note, Sonny, really quickly, I'd like you to go back to 759 in chat and read Gramasaurus's comment to you.
759?
Yes, please.
All right. Is it something amazing and awesome?
It is so. I love her. She's my favorite person tonight.
Oh,
yeah. And
right?
Mustang, I don't know where Ben's been. I'm sure he'll be back. I'm sure he's probably been around.
759. Let me go back. She just don't want any meat, just the bone. That one.
That one, yeah.
My husband would approve of that message. Absolutely, I approve of that message.
Okay.
You try to keep it clean. I always try to keep it clean in this chat, and then
can usually get the bone for free. It's the meat that costs.
That's right. That's right.
Remember?
That's right.
Do you guys remember when we were reading one of these documents and Travis? When he was talking about, remember it was about Travis. Do you remember? It was almost like you're talking about the sausage, I think it was, or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, do you remember that?
Oh, so Travis's question was actually on the SoDo case, I guess. The San Antonio.
I was gonna say, wasn't it on the SoDo case? Because I don't recall narcotics like this one.
I missed it on this case. I thought I was just because I have a really bad case of the yawns. That's why I keep going off camera.
Oh,
okay.
But I mean, I can very quickly. It was just the one paragraph.
Sure, can you do
I'll
that?
read it really quickly. It was on page 2 of. Wait, I said really quickly. I get to find it again.
We gotta watch the perp walk in a second.
Yeah, let me just read this really quick for for Travis. Okay, so yeah, page 2. It says, while waiting for the search warrant, your affiant spoke to the families of the female and the male. It was found that the boyfriend to the female sold narcotics and would use his phone through cellular communications as well as social media to sell narcotics. It was also advised that the boyfriend would post money and narcotics on Instagram. It was stated that people wanted to rob the boyfriend, and it was stated that the boyfriend had been shot at before. The family provided Eurofiant with the phone number of the female. The family of the male provided Eurofiant with his phone number as well as his Instagram.
I like how Adam went back to using Affiant. You bad boy. You naughty boy. Travis, what you gonna do about it? Huh? Because you're only in chat. But so did that is that what you wanted to hear again, Travis?
Yeah. Travis, if you went to Matthew's page, his Instagram page, there literally was a pinned link on it to a Telegram, to his Telegram, and on the Telegram, I mean, it was picture after picture of him with bottles of what's it called, lean, which is like the cough syrup stuff, and a gun, stacks of money. I mean, he advertised his drug business on social media without any fear of getting in trouble, from what I saw.
Mm-hmm.
Not that he still didn't deserve, to lose his life, but
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, it just blows me away because I've seen that a few times. I remember clicking on somebody's name before, and it was just like, they got their whole weed, their money, and all this stuff, and I'm like, you idiot, seriously, like, is your ego so big or what? I don't know. It just blows me away what people do.
Mm-hmm.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Nothing shocks me ever, really, because it's just like you just have seen so much stuff that nothing really seems to shock your system anymore and stuff like that. But it's just, you sit there and you go, how many brain cells do you actually work off of? Sitting there posting all your drugs and money, right, Kagan Klein? You know that, and stuff like that. It's just, it's like, I got my grills. Or no, he didn't. Wait, no, he did. He had his grills and that too, these gold teeth or whatever it was, and stuff like that. But you just don't do stuff like that. You just don't do stuff like that. I mean, you're just asking. You're just asking for people to, come rob you. And again, it's just a tragic case. Again, you play with fire, you get burnt, but that doesn't justify people getting murdered or killed and stuff like that. And that's the bottom line of it. People do a lot of different things in life and stuff like that. But when you put yourself in predicaments like, sadly, what, they were involved with. And the mom knew, like I said, the mom knew. She had made the post about it, talking about his lifestyle. But it's just sad. It's just sad because it boils down to, it doesn't matter what they did. They just didn't deserve to be murdered. And, no. And then when you come to find out that, like I said, I had a gang person more in my head at the time before he was arrested. And then it was like, really? And then your dad? Oh, wait, now your mom, your stepmom? Like, really?
Yeah.
You guys all tried to cover this up, anyways. So let's watch, this is 2 minutes, 39 seconds, breaking news. This is about the mother being arrested. So we'll watch that quickly, okay, guys? And
connection. Again, with breaking news now at 4, San Antonio police make a third arrest in connection to the capital murder case of Savannah Soto and Matthew Guerra. 19-year-old Christopher Preciado has been charged with capital murder, and his father, Ramon Preciado, also charged on abuse of a corpse. Then today, Murder Romanos was taken into custody, accused of helping move the bodies of the couple to the location where they were later found off Danny K Drive. Ken's 5's Vanessa Croy has more on the arrest of the stepmother. Vanessa.
Well, Deborah, according to an arrest warrant, officers discovered the murder weapon that Romanos allegedly hid behind a locked door in her bedroom. And shell casings from the victim's car later matched that gun. and Romanos admitted to police that it was hers. But it was a new piece of critical evidence that eventually cracked the case, leading them to believe a third person was involved, and the arrest today of Mirta Romanos. Now, let's all start it on December 23rd, when Savannah Soto didn't show up at the hospital where she was scheduled to be induced and deliver her baby. 3 days later, Matthew Guerra's car was discovered parked in an apartment complex near the medical center. Inside, officers found the bodies of Soto and Guerra. Both had been shot and killed. Investigators reviewed surveillance video that revealed key evidence to the case. In the video, Guerra's car is seen pulling up to the complex along with a Chevy truck. A man police say is Ramon Preciado got out of the truck, and Ramon appears to be talking to the driver of the victim's car, who police believe was Christopher Preciado. Then that video appears to show another person inside the truck toss a towel to Ramon as he then tried to wipe fingerprint evidence off the victim's car. And now, according to police, new surveillance video led to the arrest of Mirta Romanos.
That video surveillance shows her at the home right after the murders, and she was seen on video surveillance leaving in that black truck that we all saw on the surveillance video, and then returning to her home with Christopher and Ramon in that truck.
And police tell us they do not believe anyone else is involved. Tonight, Romanos is facing 3 charges, including abuse of a corpse and tampering with evidence. For now, reporting
where they were later found.
Okay. Who could not notice that Aussie shirt? I did. Aussie shirt. I kind of had to laugh when I seen that shirt. I was like, really? So she was in the truck.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was wondering about that, because I don't think that it said that, and it didn't say that in the affidavit there.
Well, yeah, it said, remember, she threw him the towel.
Okay, did it say that she threw him the towel?
Yeah.
Okay, because I was like, that's what I said to you when I sent you a message earlier. I'm going, so she was the one that threw the towel,
Yeah.
even though you would think she would be in the passenger seat, not.
She was in the back seat, I think.
Yeah. Well, it's either that or she reached behind and threw him the towel.
Yeah.
That's probably what happened, actually. It's that she probably grabbed it and then, gave it to him, type of thing like that. Because I can't see the mom sitting in the back seat behind him as much as sitting in the front seat. But either or, like I said, I just unreal that that they felt the need to, involve themselves, knowing that they have this, almighty air company, and your lives are toast. Like you just ruined your lives just like that by making that wrong choice. I get it. She's a stepmom, but it's your child. But there's a difference between doing something and between murdering somebody and then literally going to help your kid cover it up and stuff like that. Anyways,
but isn't it sadly amusing, even when given an amount of time to like think of an excuse or an alibi, how often these people come up with, I was asleep.
Right, like Travis says, well, if you thought you were sleeping, it kind of means you were not sleeping, right?
Right. I was sleeping. I think I was sleeping that night.
Just stupidity.
Yep, and absolutely, Gail. I'm really angry about that poor baby. Never got to take his first breath. To me,
Absolutely.
That is the worst. That is the most heartbreaking thing to think of. I know with true crime for me, and I've had to learn this by being in true crime, because for many of you guys that do know this, when I was 26, before then, even just like 24, I just stopped reading the newspaper. I stopped because everything was always about death, just always horrific things, the news. So I literally stayed away for all those years up until that one fateful day that I clicked on the Delphi murder video thing. And I literally just said, don't do it, click. And ever since then, from the Suzanne Morphew case to now, it's been what, will it be 3 years, 4 years? Shoot, can't remember. 3 years now? that have been in true crime.
4 years.
Yeah, it's really
Mother's Day.
Yeah, and it's not a place I ever intended to be at all, because I don't like I said, there's people out there like myself who take on other people's pain. And I start thinking about all the pain and emotion that the families are going through, like this child that never got to have a chance at life, this young couple that, yes, put them, weren't exactly living a stellar life, but, did not deserve to die. All these different cases, Delphi and all. It's just so heartbreaking. It tears up my heart. So I've had to learn by doing true crime to box things. I have to box, just like my own son. I have to box that hurt and pain of that in order to do the coverage, and you guys all know that you have to have, kind of keep things somewhat lighthearted, but never ever make fun of the case and the victims of any case. But it's just one of those things that it's such a heavy place, community to be in, like, honestly,
Yeah.
I keep getting like tossed and torn there because it is so weighing on the heart, but yet, by the same purpose, you're doing a good thing, because the more that the community grows, the more coverage there is for cases, the more that, how sleuths are, like right across the net, like the beauty of the internet that can spread a story far and wide, and these perpetrators, these killers, can get caught a lot faster, just by having that ability to these alerts and posting missing people and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And that's what makes the difference of it all. But I have to definitely box my emotions. Do you guys feel like you do that
Yeah,
as well?
it's compartmentalizing, and it's important. Even if you're not in true crime, there's a lot of people that do that, and to an unhealthy level sometimes, but
Yeah.
it's just part of our defense mechanism, I think.
Charmaine, you're talking to two cancers here. We know all about compartmentalizing. We have little boxes that we put everything into, and then we set it aside, and we build
Once
walls
in a while,
around it.
we open it up and
Yeah. Because if anyone's never watched The Tale of Two Brains, that is like this pastor guy is such a good video to watch, because men and women think so differently, and men typically compartmentalize in boxes, whereas our brains, women's brains, are like my brain does not stop, and there's like multiple things.
But you're a cancer, so you also build walls up with everything too, to protect yourself.
Absolutely. I it's hard for me to trust. I do not trust people too often. I'm very leery of people's intentions, and why. Well, you guys know, like, mostly I don't like being lied to or bullshitted to and stuff like that. Most people don't. But to me, that's like breaking the line with a cancer, or like with me, for sure. But it's typically one of those things that, we just don't. I don't like fake people. I can't stand fake people. If you're fake, get the heck away from me. Can't stand you. Don't want to be part of let you in my life at all. I just don't like that. But it's kind of like, but I'm very guarded as well. Like, even though I might be able to talk with people because I'm a outgoing personality and I have no problem interacting with people, but by the same token, I am very guarded of people. I don't trust well. You have to have a very giving, kind heart in order to even make it into my real world friends. And that's why the true base of the people that follow us, the true followers of It's a Crime and Shame, have the most beautiful, caring hearts. And that's the part that we will always appreciate. And that's why we don't let trolls in here either. But, but again, it's just, and that's why Charmaine's the same way, right? You just tell it like it is, call a spade a spade. You're feisty when you need to be, but have a huge caring heart inside and stuff like that. Adam, I think me and Charmaine, though, are a little bit feistier than you are. Just a little.
Adam is quite docile for
Not cancer. But anyways, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He says off camera.
Adam's like my yin and yang.
He's sharpening his knife over there.
Yeah. He's waiting for the next big story again. It's like YouTuber Sunny Justice goes missing. Yeah, so the towel, Eric, was to do with the wiping off of the, fingerprints and stuff like that. I didn't even actually notice because it's like I had seen the video, and normally I dissect a video, but this one I hadn't. And then when Adam said that somebody was throwing that towel and we went back to it, I'm like, yeah, like you're right. Somebody is literally, there's no ghosts throwing this towel like kind of up in the air and over.
Well, remember when the dad and son were arrested, they were like, well, we don't see anything else that anyone else is involved this time, and we were all like, bullshit.
Yeah,
because there was someone in the backseat of that car, or in the passenger seat.
yeah.
So I knew it would come eventually. I didn't know it would be the stepmom.
JLR shows videos today showing recent lawsuits. What the heck, JLR? I thought you were covering the whole border crisis. So yeah, I didn't see that one today. I haven't really looked at anybody's videos today.
Same.
Just trying to complete my own, to be honest with you. But she says that one is with the U.S. government on there. Well, again, you reap what you sow. You play with fire, you get burnt. Again, yeah.
JLR doing a video about someone else's lawsuits. I mean, I'm not going to point out the irony of that.
I'm not going to point out the irony of that either.
I will.
Yeah. But the one thing I'll say about that is, and I don't know if it's because I kind of pushed the envelope right near the start, is calling him out, is that at least he now talks about it. Like I said, if you're a criminal yourself and you've conned people and you've done stuff like that, and if he's talking about it, again, maybe someone's trying to turn over a new leaf because he can make money legitly at YouTube and stuff like that, but yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
So that's always a hard one for me because that I usually just disregard anyone that
I was just taking a piss at him because
yeah.
JLR's in on the joke.
He almost has to be.
I was gonna say, I would just like to know, I would just like to feel, not like he gives two F's about what I think about him, but I would just like to feel that people can make mistakes and that they can turn their life around for a positive instead of a negative. Yeah. Instead of scamming people and pretending you're the nephew of the what was it, the Sandy Hook and stuff like that.
Oh, just dirty.
But again,
come on in, folks. Come on in.
I mean, again, come have dinner with me. Come on now, come eat. This channel knows that we all eat food here. I'm not gonna lie though. I mean, that's his thing now. You'd never usually catch me eating on a live myself, but hey, it's almost like he's got the Food Network, and the thing, in the Calvé Conte case, like shot him from like freaking 30K to over 100K. I love boots on the ground. I absolutely love boots on the ground coverage for any case because I like the fact. So the first time I actually seen JLR was when he was doing the Idaho case. And I was like, cool, this dude's like literally driving us around and showing us all these different things. Oh, and Ellie, thank you for that email.
You didn't see him with Gabby Petito?
I didn't know he was with Gabby Petito until you told me. And then
I didn't see it at the time. I went back and watched some of it.
Summer Wells.
Because I didn't watch YouTube because was that 2020? I didn't watch true crime on YouTube then. So
did you guys find out what was the motion that the magistrate denied by the state in the bail? You talking about the bail bond? So in the let me just take a quick boo here. No, that's not it. Let me just scroll down for a second there, Travis. So state motion to deny bail comes to state, that one. Defendant stands charged in the cause with capital offense murdering. So basically, and Travis knows that, gets denied.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the let's see, on the 9th day of January 24th, came to be heard the foregoing state motions to deny bail. Is that what you're talking about, Travis?
Daisy, I forgot that he wasn't the only one. I think a couple people put the wrong picture out.
Yeah, there was quite a few people that did that.
Yeah.
Because I remember when we were going when that happened, I was scrambling and I had like 2 or 3 different pictures, and
Yeah.
I don't think we put the wrong one out. But
No, we didn't.
but I remember I had like a couple, and one was like even a cop, and people were sending me messages like, "Oh, he's law enforcement," and I'm like, different Richard Allen.
Yeah.
That's happened quite a few times.
You know, but it takes a minute to weed through some of that stuff. But yeah, I forgot that he had done that. And then, of course, we all remember, you know, shame on you, Richard Allen.
Shame on you, Alex Murdaugh. Shame on you. But at the end of the day, there was it wasn't just him; it was a bunch of other people as well. We've always been very careful of that, because I think that there was one time somebody sent us something and we weren't sure which one it was and stuff like that. And there was a couple different things going around. So you guys got to be very careful about stuff like that for sure. But yeah. So
well, remember, even when the what was the little girl's name that was kidnapped in was it New York or Massachusetts earlier this year? And it was the guy he left the note in the mailbox.
Yeah.
Because remember when his name came out, there was another guy's picture that was coming out, and his picture was, and it was a little confusing as to which one it was, whether it was the RSO or whether it was this other guy.
Yeah, that was another sad case that thankfully ended up that they found her in his trailer in a cupboard.
And the name is escaping me right now.
Same. There's been so many cases. I honestly, I'm not really good with names. I'm better with faces than I am with names. And Travis, that's all it was the bail denied of motion. It was as simple as that, for just simply being denied. But we all know that people with capital murder don't get bail anyway. Okay, so then the next part of this, I'm gonna play the video with some updates to some cases. I know that we're probably going a little bit longer, well, for time wise, but anyways, gonna play this. It's about 20 minutes long, and then we'll get back into it again. So I'm gonna do that. I'll take the this off the screen. Hold on, that's not the right one. I got the right one. Oh yeah, I did. Okay, so I'll take this off the screen, and I'll just play. Oh hi, hello, hi there. Go ahead, Sharon.
You both look gorgeous tonight, by the way.
Thanks for being off screen, Adam. That's awesome.
Me and Charmaine love it when when we throw our hair up in the hair, because it's just a don't care day.
Yeah, it's my I'm going to bed hair.
Gail, yes, I'm Adam and Aspen. I prefer Aspen, but Sonny refuses to only call me Adam, so I'm Adam Aspen half the time.
I apologize. I slip up quite often as well.
I'll answer to anything.
Salute.
Well, I mean,
yeah.
That's what my parents call me.
All right, okay. Let me find that video. 1 second. This one. Okay.
He has been staying on top of this story for you since the mother of 5 was murdered along that popular walking trail in Harford County over the summer.
And Jessica Albert joins us now live with the new efforts Morin's family are now taking to bring her killer to justice. Jessica.
Rick and Vic, the Morin family is now sending flyers with the suspect's photos on them to high schools in the Los Angeles area because the suspect has been connected to a crime there that happened earlier this year. The family is hoping that someone that goes or works to those schools will recognize the suspect and turn him in.
A new tactic to try to bring Rachel Morin's killer to justice.
So we need to find the suspect who did this so that nobody else needs to experience this loss during the holidays.
Rachel's family, with the help of their attorney, are sending letters to 5 high schools in Los Angeles, where the suspect was caught on surveillance video leaving a home after committing another crime there earlier this year.
He was in high school, probably, if that's the case, he could have been in high school as early as 2 years ago and maybe somewhere, 8 to 10 years ago. So if there's a teacher there who taught him and saw him every single day during the school year, hopefully that teacher would recognize who he is.
Rachel was found murdered along the Ma and Pa Trail in Bel Air in August. Despite having video of the suspect and DNA, no arrests have been made yet. For months, Rachel's family has been taking matters into their own hands to help bring in leads. Earlier this month, they sent 10,000 flyers to homes near the crime scene in L.A.
Remember, the story really has not been covered in Los Angeles as well as it has been covered here in Baltimore and in Maryland itself. And so we're hopeful that because maybe someone out there hasn't seen these images yet, that we're going to reach somebody.
Rachel leaves behind her 5 kids.
And unfortunately, there's going to be a huge gap in these holiday celebrations this year, both Thanksgiving and Christmas, because Rachel's not going to be here.
Matthew McMahon is the father of her eldest child. He tells WJZ her children are still grieving.
The children are making progress, but the main progress they need is to have this guy apprehended.
And the reward for information leading to an arrest in Rachel's murder now stands at $30,000. Anyone with information is asked to contact the Harford County Sheriff's Office. Reporting live tonight at 11 o'clock, Jessica Alpert for WJZ.
Now, of course, we can never forget the Idaho 4 case with Zaina, Ethan, Maddie, and Kaylee. And the Idaho 4, the next hearings for Brian Koberger are on the 1st of the 26th of 2024, will be live streamed on YouTube by the court. Now, no other video or audio recording are allowed in the courtroom. The January 26th hearings will discuss Koberger's motion to deny dismissal of his indictment. The 11 a.m. hearing will be private, but the 1 p.m. hearing will be open to the public and will be live streamed. As we know, the house was torn down on December 28th of 2023, and here's some footage of that video. Absolutely heartbreaking to anyone that's been following this case to watch that house come down.
The folks at Cohasset up in Massachusetts talking about a man named Brian Walsh. Take a look at Brian Walsh. 47 years old, father of 3, but is accused of murdering his wife January 1st, 2023. By the way, he was already on house arrest at the time for selling some fake Warhols. Paintings. Yeah, this guy's a character and a half. Matt Johnson has more tonight.
No comment from Brian Walsh after he was charged with the murder of his wife, Anna Walsh, the missing Massachusetts mother of 3 young boys. And while he's not talking, prosecutors are piecing together a timeline of what they say he was doing in the days after her disappearance. Prosecutors say that Anna Walsh was last seen here at her Cohasset home on New Year's Day. Anna was last seen at home between 4 and 5 a.m. by a family member. Walsh told police that he had slept in that morning, but prosecutors say that he was actually awake and searching disturbing topics on his son's iPad.
At 4:55 a.m. on January 1st, he searched how long before a body starts to smell.
The very next day, more Google searches.
There were also more Google searches on January 2nd. At 12:45 p.m., Pat saw best tool to dismember. At 1:10 p.m., can he be charged with murder without a body? at 1:14 p.m. Can you identify a body with broken teeth?
Prosecutors say that on January 2nd, Walsh came here to this Home Depot store, located in Rockland, Massachusetts, 9 miles from his house. He spent $450 on cleaning supplies.
Items included cleaning products, mops, brushes.
On January 3rd, prosecutors say Walsh drove to an apartment complex in Abington, 16 miles from his home, where they say surveillance video shows him hoisting a heavy garbage bag into a dumpster. At 4:48 p.m., prosecutors say Walsh drove to a second apartment complex in Abington. And at 5:10 p.m., investigators say he threw items away into a dumpster in Brockton. Then on January 6th and 7th, police searched the Walsh property in Cohasset. Prosecutors collected a lot of evidence in the basement of this home, including DNA blood evidence and 2 knives. On January 8th, Walsh was arrested for misleading police in his wife's missing person investigation. The next day, he was arraigned and pled not guilty. Then on January 17th, prosecutors announced that he would be charged with her murder. The next day, he was back in court.
The defendant is now before the court charged with murder of his wife, Anna Walsh, as well as disinterring of a body.
All right, folks, the next hearing is March 4th, but a big development in court today. Lawyer announcing that he's run out of money and he's indigent, so now he needs a new attorney. Let's bring back in our think tank, Darnell Crossland. You're going to be back in the mainland anytime soon?
Well, not for pro bono, Benny.
Well, I mean, you might be able to squeeze a few fake war halls out of him. So does he have any defense, Darnell? I mean, I'm looking at this case. You've got blood evidence in the basement. You've got him running around throwing garbage out all over Massachusetts. Looks a little problematic.
Well, I'm from Connecticut, and we got something going on called the Doulos case, sort of, and it's just shockingly reminiscent. So, you know, they're going to have to, you know, find out what he was discarding and what connections the stuff that he discarded has to his wife or to his wife's murder and to him. So far, it looks bad, but I haven't seen the so-called smoking gun yet, so we have to wait and see.
Al, you ran out of money. You surprised?
No, not surprised at all. And, you know, I mean, this is a lesson to everyone. Don't look up stupid things on the internet. I mean, this is just unbelievable. With the question,
well, he used his son's iPad. No one's going to look there.
Yeah, no one looks there. That would be the last place I'd look if it's the Keystone cops that are investigating this. But I mean, you know, to do that, and also to put that evidence on his kid's iPad is even more of a horrendous action on his part.
Jennifer
so what's
Brandt,
he gonna do? Blame the kid?
Yeah, Jennifer Brandt, what happens to the children now? Mom is missing, and Dad's facing murder here. Do they have a chance?
Yeah, it's tragic. No, they really don't have a chance. Hopefully there is some family member, maybe a member of Mom's family, who will take them in and will raise them, because it looks like he will probably not get out of jail. If things go as it seems that they will go. You never know, but to the extent that he's in prison, they will be living with some other family member or somebody who is willing to take them in. And it's so sad because now, you know, both parents, they don't have either parent. Their mom is gone and their father is in a lot of trouble.
Because I just can't with that history. In accordance with the laws of the state of Nevada, this court
Well, he's the guy who made headlines by jumping over the bench and attacking the judge who was about to sentence him to prison. Let's do a deeper dive into this absolutely insane case with the Honorable Mitchell Goldberg, United States District Court Judge for the Eastern District of Pennsylvania. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. We got to talk about this case. It's one that actually was all over the news, but we haven't had a chance to really tackle it. This is the guy who jumped over the bench and attacked a judge out of Nevada. You know what I'm talking about. The defendant is 30-year-old Deober Redden, and he was in Clark County District Court in front of Judge Mary Kay Holthus. This is a guy, by the way, with an extensive criminal record of felonies and misdemeanors, including for domestic violence and robberies. And he was in court that day to face sentencing after pleading guilty to an attempted battery charge for a baseball attack, a baseball bat attack, I should say. He actually pled guilty to this reduced charge. Initially, he was charged with assault with a deadly weapon. So now he's in court. He's going to be sentenced. Now, during this hearing, his attorney was asking for probation, not any kind of prison time. And Redden makes a statement that he is a person who never stops trying to do the right thing, no matter how hard it is. Says that I'm not a rebellious person. This is what he tells the judge. But he also says that, in terms of prison, if the sentence, if it's appropriate for you, then you have to do what you have to do. Okay. Well, it seemed that Judge Holthus was going to do what she had to do because she was indicating that probation wasn't sufficient. She said, I appreciate that, but I think it's time that he get a taste of something else because I just can't with that history. Right after she makes that statement, right after, Redden curses her out, sprints towards the judge, vaults over the bench, and attacks her. It's incredible to see. I mean, really, really incredible. You want to talk about him not being a rebellious person? What do you think that is? I mean, imagine that. He ends up fighting with the judge, grabs her hair. Her head hits the wall. He fights the clerk, the marshal, a police officer. He's facing a slew of new charges. Counts of battery on a protected person, battery of an officer, battery by a prisoner, intimidating a public officer, extortion, and even attempted murder. A court-martial had to receive all these stitches. He suffered a dislocated shoulder. According to authorities, apparently the judge, as I said, her head was hitting the wall. Redden actually put his hands around her throat. She sustained some injuries, but she was okay. How do I know she was okay? Because she was back in court, back at work, only days later, officially sentenced Redden. He was brought back into her courtroom again, this time in restraints, gloves, a spit mask. She ended up sentencing him to 19 months to 4 years in prison on that original charge. But now, like I said, he faces all of these new charges because of what he did in court. Now, with that in mind, let me bring on right now a special guest, the Honorable Mitchell Goldberg, United States District Court Judge for the Eastern District of Pennsylvania. Thank you so much for coming on, Judge. What a story to talk about. Let me first just get your reaction to seeing this, because it's not every day you see a judge being attacked in his or her own courtroom.
Thank you for having me on, Jesse. And my reaction was probably the same as every judge, state and federal in the country who saw it. It was horrifying. That someone with that kind of record was able to get that close to a jurist and actually, inflict some, what could have been a lot worse harm on her and her staff. I hadn't heard the extent of the injuries, but what I observed, and I did watch the video, it could have been a lot worse.
It really could have been. I mean, I've seen videos before where fights break out in courtrooms. I saw one recently where, a fight breaks out with the defendant and the victim's family, and this whole melee, it happens in the courtroom. Somebody actually runs past the judge, but it's rare that you see a judge being attacked. And that was really disturbing to see.
And of course, who can forget the Danilo Cavalcante case? So Danilo Cavalcante has 20 more charges as a result of his escape. The arraignment and future hearing dates on the matter still have not been scheduled after being delayed in November after the Senior Deputy Attorney General asked both new cases be consolidated and continued for a later date. That was definitely a case to remember. And of course, who can forget the Carly Russell case, the girl that made a mockery out of missing persons, true people that truly are missing. Now, her jury trial begins March 18th of 2024, and if convicted, she faces up to 1 year and to pay back $17,000, which is pretty nominal to how much that actually cost. And who can forget JonBenet Ramsey? So on the 28th of December of 2023, Boulder Police announced a cold case team was convened to review the homicide investigation to pursue all leads and explore new technology advancements to identify JonBenet's killer. And who can forget the case that's over 7 years old of Karina McClerkin, who finally was able to be put to rest and her remains being found. Now, Flint Vincent Farmer has been charged with her murder, and the final pre-trial hearing is on January 23rd of 2024. Now, on February 13th of 2024, Flint Farmer's first day scheduled trial begins. Now, we all know that that's the exact same day, February 13th, that Abby and Libby had disappeared and went missing, and then later found on February 14th of 2017, murdered. So, long awaited for the family of Ray Hanish, on the 25th of January of 2024 is the final pretrial hearing. And on February of 27th of 2024, which is a 4-day scheduled trial that begins for Garrett Kurtz. Justice for Ray Hanish.
Well, Jackie, the judge showing a little bit of concern today over the number of motions that still need to be handled, because depending on the day of the week, attorneys are either trying to pick their jury or they're arguing motions in front of the judge on this very complicated case.
We have come in at the 11th hour not knowing anything.
Attorneys took a break from jury selection in the second YNW Melly double murder trial today to continue working through a laundry list of motions filed by both the state and the defense. The issue at hand today, whether the defense should be able to re-depose or re-question the lead Miramar police detective on the case ahead of his testimony in the second trial. The defense accuses Detective Mark Moretti of wrongdoing while serving a search warrant on Melly's mother's phone last year, and they want to ask him about it directly.
I do not know what can show more corruption than an officer serving a search warrant when he knew he was out of his jurisdiction, physically taking something from a person which he did not have the right to do because it was outside of his jurisdiction, and then asking another officer to commit perjury. That shows corruption.
But the state fired back, saying that the detective has been cleared through an internal affairs investigation, and any information they would collect from him would not be admissible in court.
There is no investigation. He has effectively been cleared by the Miramar Police Department. And what they now want to do is to pontificate or speculate that maybe some charges will come down the road, but there's just simply no evidence supporting that.
Melly, whose real name is Jamel Demmons, is charged in the shooting deaths of 2 childhood friends in 2018. Jury selection for his second double murder trial is ongoing as attorneys and the judge sort out the dozens of motions filed. The judge appeared concerned today that the motions should have been handled before the official start of this second trial.
Don't want to rush into anything, you know, and it seems like there's a lot of motion pending, and we'll rush into something.
And remember, the first double murder trial ended in a mistrial in July. This one had to start within 90 days of that happening, and they did meet that deadline despite the fact that a new prosecutor was assigned to the case because the previous one had been removed. Jury selection will begin on Monday. As far as the judge ruling on this latest motion, that has not yet happened today. Reporting live in downtown Fort Lauderdale, Marissa Bagg, NBC 6 News.
WJZ has been staying on.
So, come back over here now. Okay, so there are still a few more cases that we'll talk about that Charmaine had sent me as well. And so, is there anything you guys wanted to say with regards to any of those cases we just watched?
No quick question, Charmaine.
Well, no, not really. We did an episode on a number of them, but the Brian Walsh case is mind-boggling. Like his internet searches are just
again, stupidest criminals, whatever. Like,
yeah,
seriously, right?
Yeah.
You know, for me, it's like if you combine Delphine with that, and it basically is, it encapsulates the past year of this channel and the cases we've covered. And so when you see all of that that pain and suffering, wrapped into like a 20-minute, update video. Like I actually got a little emotional during it just because, and I knew everything that was in it, but I was like just hearing it all back to back. It was just so many people affected by senseless violence. So, I want all of those victims to get justice.
Absolutely. It's so tragic. And Daisy, the McClerkin case, I mean, again, we just been waiting for that trial to start for Flint Farmer.
His trial. I was surprised when I looked that up again today, just for this update. I forgot that his trial is only scheduled for 1 day.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, so I guess, that they're going to have such compelling evidence from the grand jury that, I guess they feel like they can get this all done in 1 day.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many things going on in January here. Like, honestly, January, February, there's just tons. Like there's so many more cases out there. Like another one I watched, I think was, what is it? The Currens, what's that one? The teacher that basically gave her husband supposedly pills, and then he died, and then she wrote the book. What's her name?
Oh, in the Moscow Mule.
The what?
Remember wasn't it in the Moscow Mule?
Yeah.
The drink.
Whatever it was, yeah. But anyways, there's just so many cases, and this one I wanted to remind you guys about, and then we'll get on to the ones Charmaine had sent.
I want to answer really quickly. Daisy, I think Flint Farmers is February 13th, 2024.
Yeah. Let me look quickly back. Adam had sent it to me. I
think it's the anniversary it's the 7-year anniversary of Libby and Abby.
Yeah, the final pretrial is the 23rd of this month, and Flint Farmer's scheduled trial date begins on the 13th, which is, obviously February 13th, same day as the girls. So we have that coming up on January 18th, of course, is the Delphi Supreme Court to see what goes on there. Now, just remind me, Adam.
Along with Mitch Westerman.
Hey, yeah, along with Mitch Westerman. Just remind me, though, it's going to be live streamed from the Supreme Court. Yeah,
it'll be live streamed from the Supreme Court, but of course there won't be a decision that day. They're just going to hear, the Gold's lawyer is going to get 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Rich Allen's lawyer is going to get 30 minutes. And then,
But are we allowed to live stream it?
I'm sorry?
Like, are we allowed to live stream it?
It is going to be live streamed through the through the link from the court.
Yeah.
I've heard conflicting things about whether streamers can then stream the live stream onto YouTube. I'm not. I've heard, like I said, I've heard both, but I'm just not. I'm not quite sure how they can. How they can. I don't know. I'm not sure how they can really control that.
That's the only thing that keeps going through my mind.
We'll look into it more.
Yeah. Because that keeps going through my mind. So Nicola Bulley, January 27th of last year, Nicola Bulley went missing, and then her body was recovered on February 19 of 2023. Again, so we'll be covering that. I did a video today for it. This case, Nicola Bulley's, was a huge part of the It's a Crime and Shame channel. Just a very sad case, a mother of two. That's her husband, and of course, their Paul. Their home is up for sale. I don't know if it's sold yet or not. Anyways, so I wanted to say bring that one up because we'll be doing a live, in honor of Nicola Bulley. As always, I've done some tribute videos. I like doing the tribute videos, for certain cases. It's just something for me that I like to do for the victims of circumstances and stuff like that. Is my own personal thing. And like I said, if a family member or somebody happens to see it, they do. If they don't, it's then it's great. But I really, it's my way of remembering. It's just, I don't know how to say that. It's just my way of saying that these aren't just cases; these are people. And so I like to do tribute videos honoring the victims of certain cases that I come across. I can't do them all, but Nicola Bullies was a very impactful case to us, and it's just so tragic, so sad. Now let's go in. Hi, husband. Do you need me? 1 second.
While Sonny's doing that, I'm going to answer. Daisy says, "Do y'all have Jerry lined up to discuss the farmer trial?" You know, I was thinking about Jerry over the holidays. I need to reach out to her because I would like to talk to her, and I haven't talked to her in a little bit. But I don't know if it'll be on a live stream or not. But I definitely do need to reconnect with her just to offer support and see if she needs anything. But I'll let you know. I will do that this week.
Interesting. Like pressure worked in the McClerkin case. I agree.
Sorry.
Right. Oh, I think pressure works in every case. I think pressure worked in the McClerkin case. I think pressure worked in the Ray Hanish case. I think, you know, if those names had been forgotten, I think that, you know, neither one of those cases would be coming to a trial this year. But I feel like because the public didn't forget Ray Hanish's name and they didn't forget Karina McClerkin's name, I think that those cases got, you know, hopefully are going to come to a conclusion.
Same, Gail. Same.
Can you add up to that, because we don't pay attention to Summer Wells' case. It's a case that
There's really nothing to say because law enforcement isn't coming out with any new information. There's rumors and speculation and new information coming out about the dad all the time. But like I said, it's mind-boggling how cold that case is without them coming out and saying it's cold. Law enforcement isn't, it just doesn't seem like they have much to go on at this point, which is really sad. She vanished into thin air.
That one bugs me. I think about it. We don't cover it. It's kind of like the Lori Vallow case we don't cover. It's like a bunch of cuckoo clocks that people just went really insane. I mean, they do in certain cases for sure. I get it, but it was just one of those things that I remember. I covered a little bit of it, like very little. I was more paying attention to it. Did a tribute video for Summer, and it was just one of those mind fuck video cases, you know, like honestly. And it's just same with Lori Vallow case. Paid attention to it, and then it gets to the point that it's just honestly, it's like really like zombie apocalypse type shit going on, and it just becomes so whack to me that it's like when it gets too crazy, I just find it hard to follow those especially when the people following it, a lot of them are freaking quack jobs themselves.
That's why I didn't follow Lori Vallow for the longest time. It's why I've never followed Summer Wells, and that beautiful little girl needs justice. You know, she needs to be found. But
yeah, absolutely.
Sadly, the people that cover that case and the people involved in that case, I mean, we all know Delphi can be enough of a circus. I can't.
Yeah.
I can't throw myself into another circus. So it's kind of a deterrent to even look into some of those cases.
You know, and that's really the bottom line of it, Adam. I can only, like, for me, I'm kind of like a one person thing in a sense. So to me, to try covering multiple cases is like more like a feat for me, because when I focus on something, I do, and that's why I go all in. Exactly. It was Suzanne Morphew, then with I didn't really do an update for Suzanne Morphew there, did I? Basically, like her remains were found, thankfully, and then it's just a matter of wait and see again.
And Barry's out there living his best life.
Yeah, well, hopefully that will change at some point, I hope, but who knows? But yeah, like, and so when you're already dealing with like a wacky case like Delphi is and the people that are within it, hence why, again, we'll be pulling back besides covering the pertinent information out there, just because it's very draining, and I don't got the energy to follow like wacky job cases like the Vallow case and Summer Wells. I care about the victims and I want justice for the victims, but I don't want to be in that part of the circle where like I said, like this feeding frenzy of, people making up a bunch of crap, and
just well.
kind of like Idaho got the same way, and
Mhm.
kind of why we pulled back again. There was a couple main channels like Drunk Turkey Show covering it, Truth and Transparency, and a few other channels. But when it starts getting wacky,
there's a real vitriol though right now, like I think within the Delphi, like online community, and it's a case that I feel so passionate about, like we all do, and but I have zero interest in investing time or energy into the drama of some of these people's. I don't know. Lack of lives. I don't know what it is, but and I'm not.
It's very toxic. It's a very toxic.
Yeah, and I'm not talking about any specific channels, but it's just. I mean, it's a very toxic environment right now, and I feel like that's just such a shame because, Libby and Abby don't deserve that. Their families don't deserve it.
Yeah.
And I'm just ready for the 18th to come and go. I'm ready for whatever outcome the Supreme Court makes. And I'm ready for this case to get back onto some sort of a track of normalcy.
Yeah.
So that, hopefully justice can be achieved.
Yeah. And that's the thing with Summer Wells too, right? I just hope and pray, like the John Benet Ramsey case, that at some point that it's solved, that at some point that these victims, all I ever want is just, basically the person who did it or persons who did it to have to, face their demons, face the judge, and pay for the crimes that they've done. And some of like Summer Wells is a case that, honestly, I don't even know what to say about that one, really. Mm-hmm. It's one of those ones that it's so whack or crack or jack or out there. And honestly, I don't know where the truth lies in that case. I just hope that one day Summer Wells' remains are found and that at some point the truth comes out for that poor child.
Yeah.
I think about that and how instantly I remember just instantly that same day there was YouTubers instantly, calling the I can't think of the dad's name, killer and this and that, and it instantly got off.
Don Wells.
Don Wells, thank you. And it instantly got off to this really crazy case right away. Like the internet was just flying with accusations instantly. And I was just trying to focus on, like the facts that were being kind of put out there and stuff like that. And then it was just like this never ending rabbit hole and you didn't know what the truth was. And then, I'm getting told about cults and stuff. And I was just
just went sideways with nothing to back any of it up,
Yeah.
Okay. There have been some things about the dad that have come out that are very interesting, but nothing from law enforcement. So you shouldn't put any stock in it,
Yeah.
But people do and they run with it. And it's unfortunate because it's not helping Summer.
No, exactly. And it's just when people ride the gravy train by putting out videos that are just ridiculous. They know that they're full of it, but it doesn't matter to them because as long as they're getting clicks and views and whatever because of it. And then there's some people out there that are just absolutely clocks. Like I said, it's like they have no lives whatsoever, that their lives are literally the community of true crime, and they become obsessed in their Facebook groups and obsessed with the case, and I can't understand how all these adults decide that they're going to message a 16-year-old, meaning Summer Wells' case, and stuff like that, whether it's Summer Wells or any other case. And they sit there and they put on these nasty threats and comments to a 16-year-old boy. And I just can't believe that type of mentality. And I just refuse to be part of that type of mentality. But
while, of course, you're talking to a whole bunch of people that, spend their days in Facebook groups and on YouTube and looking at true crime.
Yeah, but there's a difference between, I know you are. There's a difference between having a healthy balance in a sense and covering cases and stuff like that. But it's like I said, there's lots of people that just take it too far. You know,
Right.
they're just obsessed, and they only believe their whack job story and stuff like that. And it's just crazy. Like the things that I've personally learned in this like 4-year adventure, I suppose you're saying I've been, is that there's a lot of fucked up people in this world. And, you know, amongst it, there's a lot of great people in this world. But I didn't realize these out of the planet, you know, conspiracy theory type things got this ridiculous. You know, so ridiculous that Joseph Morris had to, you know, for clicks and views, had to alter a domestic violence video to make it seem like it was part of the Idaho 4, and then change the Daily Mail and edit the contents of that. You know, like how low do you have to sink in a sense, right? And go ahead, walk a shame.
For me, the moment I think that realization came into my head was when, I don't know if anyone remembers, and I don't even remember how long ago it was at this point, but when there was that, like, most recently it was the whole, like, you know, Delphi Abbey picture on the bridge, and BG is not real, it's a deep fake, which I was like,
oh yeah.
And then, but before that, it was the Becky Patty moved a book. Remember? You remember that in that video where she's with I can't remember who she's with, but
that guy.
The book falls off, and people like theorized that like she moved that book on purpose to like send a signal or something, and I was like, what is wrong with people?
Yeah. It was just, and then the big deal that was made over whether it was a jacket or a hoodie or a sweater, you know, that was just crazy to me. Who cares? Whether it's a jacket, a sweater, or a hoodie. Bottom line is that the girls each had one. They were Kelsey's. Right. One was a swimming one. One was the one that Abby had on, and that's it. Why does it need to be taken further than that? Who gives a shit if it was? People deem things a hoodie as a sweater and blah blah blah. Anyway, that's one that always kind of got to me a little bit, was that I just couldn't believe that this big mountain was being made out of the hoodies and stuff like that. But okay, so I'll play this.
Can I say one thing before we get to these cases? I know I want to get to these cases because I want to hear them because I don't know what they are.
It's just the last few, yeah.
But I do want. Can I answer a question really quickly that Daisy asked? Let me see if I can find it now. Daisy said, saw your post about new YouTube rules. Can you talk about how the pros and cons are for the genre at Aspen? And just for anyone that didn't see, YouTube released, like periodically they'll come out with some new policies and guidelines. And one of the ones that's being implemented on YouTube for the 6th, I think it starts the 16th of January.
16th, yeah.
Says we'll begin striking content that realistically simulates deceased minors or victims of deadly or well-documented major violent events describing their deaths or violence experienced. And I'd posted that on my community page. And, you know, and I feel two ways about it. I feel overwhelmingly positive because I feel like it offers a tool for family members, like say the Patties or the Williams family, to be able to use when people depict, say, images of the girls, or they go into extreme detail about depicting the way that the girls might have lost their lives, to a point that where it's, you know, violates their privacy and their dignity. And I think every tool that a family can have in combating some of the nonsense and craziness they have to see on a daily basis is a good thing. The part of it where I was a little iffy about is when you cover true crime. I mean, true crime's not, you know, it's not champagne and roses. So, you know, like, you know, in an instance like tonight where we were reading the affidavit for the Soto-Garra's case, you know, I'm not sure where YouTube's going to draw that line as far as descriptions of violent acts. So it's like, you know, like just reading, you know, the way that someone dies, is that considered, is that considered over the line? And I guess that, time will tell. It's going to be a case by case thing. So I feel really positive that for family members and for victims, it's a tool that will be able to use to keep some of the true crime design, blah blah, that kind of nonsense and trap off of from harassing the families and disrespecting the girls' memories. But covering true crime, I'm not quite sure. Where that line lies.
Daisy, that will have to be up to YouTube on that one, to be honest with you, because even I've asked myself that same question, like, is that going to, kind of what they did when they changed the policy before last time, Adam? A lot of people that had monetization on channels, a lot of the stuff got, demonetized and stuff like that, and or taken down and stuff like that. So, honestly, I'm not sure of the answer to that. Adam wouldn't know either. It's really going to.
And also, I'm not quite sure if you really look into the wording of the policy. Yeah. I'm not quite sure what they consider, because it says realistically simulates deceased minors or victims, and major events describing their deaths. So a lot of it'll have to do with what their definition of simulates means. So is that just describing? Is that showing it? Like a reenactment video? Like.
Right, and that's where it becomes fuzzy with YouTube. This is why I hate being in the true crime, because I hate dealing with.
Right. Is it showing drawn images of deceased minors' bodies in the woods, like some channels did?
Well, so Adam, in the Seth Carnes affidavit, for instance, and it talks about how he was shot in the elbow, in the rib cage, and she was on the floor. Is that too descriptive?
Right. But I mean, it's descriptive, but does it simulate it? Mm-hmm. So that's where I think it'll have to be a little bit further explaining. But at the same time, I do feel like any tool that a family member of a deceased person can use to fight the evil that they have to endure. And I'm not talking about like channels like us where we read an affidavit or we talk about court documents. I'm talking about these channels that
that's
throw out,
that cross the line, the border of dignity for the victims and stuff like that. So we'll see how it all plays out. We'll see how that all plays out. I hadn't actually seen that update. Usually I see it, but I didn't see it until Adam had said it, and then I went and read it, and I was kind of like, YouTube is very finicky. Okay, like there's no straight line. It's one of those things, honestly, with YouTube that you don't know. Well, okay, so is this going against the guidelines, or is this not? Because there's just so many things. Anyone that's a YouTube creator, you could sit there for a few days and still not understand all the stuff. I mean, I've had videos that get freaking 18 years and older, and I'm like, why? Like, it's a very unbalanced thing. But what I do appreciate is that YouTube has been making changes. All my videos and lives have been green. I'm not fighting this yellow thing all the time anymore, thankfully. But I'm wondering, with this rule, where is it that you're crossing the boundaries?
Right, and that's what I'm curious about. But I mean, for anyone that doesn't have a YouTube channel or whatever, this doesn't really matter as much. But a lot of with true crime on YouTube is tricky because the stuff we talk about is, it can be more triggering, to a lot of things. But a lot of the rules that we're all been put under aren't specific to true crime. And so like with this rule, I felt like it was a good step because I feel like it's more directed towards people that cover true crime. How it affects us, I'm not sure yet. But but I mean, for the most part, I mean, with true crime, we still go through the same process of when you upload a video of basically saying, is this for kids? Is this not for kids? You know, I mean, and then we're, you know, kind of held to the same standards as someone that's posting a comedy video. But, you know, the line's a little different when you're talking about homicide.
Right.
Yeah. So we'll see. Okay, so I'm gonna play this little video here. This is the Susan Boon case. And sorry, I was gonna say Sarah, and then for some reason I changed it to Susan. And so that Sarah Boon, January 16th, 2024 is the pretrial conference for this one. And I'll play this, and then Charmaine can talk about it for a minute if she likes. Okay.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you shall give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Welcome back, ma'am. Tell me your name and your date of birth.
Sarah Boon, 10-10-77.
All right. In this case, you were most recently represented by Mr. Bankowitz. I granted a motion to withdraw. We appointed Mr. Hobson, and we set a status hearing today. Mr. Hobson, where do you stand as far as entering the case, and how much work do you think you have to get done to get the case ready for trial?
Let me start. I'll start at the back end, Judge. I would ask the court to set a status for sometime in January. I've had discussions with Ms. Booth before today, and she's okay with that, and I think that would make sense. I've got like a banker's box and a half of stuff I'm trying to wade through, plus the media stuff. So I think that would be the best option we've got right now, as far as I'm concerned.
So I don't have my dates, other than my pretrial and trial dates for next year. I don't have the calendar ironed out. Okay. But what I could do is just give y'all a January pretrial date, understanding that you're not representing that you're actually going to be ready to announce trial, but at least it's a next point to see how far you've gone, how much further you have to go. My hope would be in January, you'd be able to give the court a realistic estimate of when you would be ready to announce trial.
Yes, sir.
State, are you okay if we handle it that way?
Yes, that sounds reasonable.
I have a January 16th pretrial date. Is that far enough into January, Mr. Hobson?
Yes, sir.
All right. Here's what we'll do. We will set pretrial conference on January 16th, trial period January 29th. The one thing I'm going to ask Mr. Hobson is if there are particular problems with the discovery, getting up to speed, that you know about before the 16th, if you could bring those to the court's attention beforehand, so we can at least start working those problems as they arrive, that would be my request.
Okay.
All right.
I would also ask the court as a caveat to indicate that it's a pretrial conference.
That one, okay. That wasn't really a big clip. Anyway, so Charmaine, Sarah Boon case. This is the suitcase one.
Yes.
Go ahead and give everyone the gist of this case that doesn't know about it.
So Sarah Boon claims that her and her then boyfriend, George, I don't know his last name off the top of my head, but they were drinking a little bit and decided to have a game of hide and seek. He got himself in the suitcase. I don't know what her story is, how he zipped himself up. And anyways, the following day she called 911 because she remembered he was in the suitcase and opened the suitcase. He wasn't breathing. The 911 call is bizarre. 911 operators trying to get her to do CPR, and she's basically saying she is, but you can tell that she's not. And then anyways, fast forward, she is on her 7th public defender at this point. She was cautioned by the judge that she would not be given any more public defenders. She's also in not a custody, but I think alimony and child support battle. So that's also going on. She's writing the judge a lot of letters about the status of her counsel, like how little attention that they're giving her. She doesn't think she's being treated fairly. She claims she wants to go to trial as quickly as possible, but everything that she's doing, firing her attorneys and whatnot, just totally goes against wanting to go to trial anytime soon.
Sorry, that people.
Claim is there. From what I understand, they are trying to find an expert to back up their claim that she was a battered wife, and this was not self-defense per se, but because she was so abused by this man that she wasn't in her right mind when she didn't let him out of the suitcase. Because during her first interrogation, she showed the police her cell phone because there were pictures of bruises and stuff she had, but she totally forgot that she had videotaped this poor man in the suitcase the night before. So the police found all of that. We did do an episode on our podcast on it. And yeah, so pre-trial, which is not a real pre-trial, is on January 16th, which is just this coming week. I honestly don't think this is going to see trial for another year, even though that lawyer said that he has a banker's box to go through. And relatively speaking, that's not a whole lot to go through. But I think they're going to have a really hard time finding an expert to back that claim up. So we'll have to wait and see what happens there. But yeah, she's definitely vindictive, and it doesn't seem to me as something that a battered wife would do. Don't these women usually grab their husband's guns or wait till their husbands are sleeping or something like that in an effort to escape a no-win situation? And that's not what this looks like. Just my opinion.
Yeah, and I agree as well. Okay.
And exactly, Gail, that I mean, logically speaking, my own opinion, speculation, I think that he might have passed out and she could have rolled him into the suitcase herself, or they were having some kind of a back and forth because he was a very small, petite man. Maybe she made him a bet that he couldn't fit or something like that. But I'd bet money that it wasn't a game of hide and seek, because that's not.
Yeah, no.
She zipped him up. She knew where he was, and that's not a game.
Yeah.
And then she said that she went upstairs and passed out, even though she only had a couple of glasses of wine, was her story. She wasn't drinking that much. But then when you listen to the video that she took, she is absolutely ripped. She is absolutely ripped. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, that whole hide and seek stuff. I'm sorry. You know, when you hear it, you just, sorry, you can't sell that to me if you tried.
No,
you know?
absolutely right.
Yeah.
Makes no sense. But we'll see what she comes up with for sure.
Okay. And then the next case we're going to talk about here is the Chad Dorman.
Mm-hmm.
Now it says you put July 8, 2024 could be delayed.
Yeah.
For that
because as it says on the screen, there's 41 motions filed so far, and I believe there's 19 charged. He's been charged with 19 crimes, felonies, I believe.
Yeah, and for anyone that doesn't know about this case, remember it's about the children. So do you just want to go about this one as well?
So Chad Dorman, he left work early one day back in June of 2023 and went home. I think it was 2 days before Father's Day. He went home early. He told his wife and 3 little boys to go and have a nap with him. So they went in the master bedroom, laid down to have a nap. Chad got up, went to his gun safe, took out a gun, and shot one of his sons. Of course, the mom basically freaked out and told her other 2 boys to run. Meantime, I think Chad was getting ammunition and stuff like that. Now, the wife had an older daughter, 15-year-old daughter, who came down the hallway and saw what was going on. She took one of the boys by hand and ran them out the back door. She wanted to go back in and try to help the other boy. So she told that little boy to run. So he was running across the field, and Chad came out and shot that boy in the field. So then, because Chad was going after that little boy that he had shot to make sure he was dead, Mom and big sister had a chance to run out the front door. Now, Mom had the 3-year-old little boy in her arms. Meanwhile, the 15-year-old girl went running down the street to the fire station to get help. Chad came back, had an altercation with mom, obviously, because she wouldn't put her son down. He ended up discharging the weapon and shooting her thumb. She dropped the little boy, and he proceeded to shoot him right in front of his mother.
Yes.
So all three boys were found murdered. The 15-year-old was completely traumatized, and the mother's life is basically over.
Yeah.
So all of the body cam footage is on YouTube. If you guys haven't seen it, it is heartbreaking.
Yeah.
And again, we did an episode on that one back in, I think, July.
Yeah.
But I have a hard time because he actually confessed. He confessed, and he had said that he had planned it. So I'm not sure. Some of these emotions have to be dealt with probably, but I suspect he'll be changing his plea. In the body cam footage, he's very lucid. He's not high. He's not drunk. So
almost worse.
Yes, absolutely. So I don't know if, he's going to change his plea or if he'll actually go to trial because, like I said, it said clearly in that arrest warrant that he had confessed.
That's a case that I can't. Like just hearing you talk about it, like, and I knew all of those details, but it's like I get so emotional just thinking about the brutality involved in his actions.
Yeah.
That I want nothing to do with that because it breaks my heart so much to think about it.
Same.
So when I did this episode on Chad Dorman, it was right around the same time that Bella Fontanelle was murdered by her stepmother. Remember the chlorine bucket in the wagon and the woman?
Yeah.
And I did Chad Dorman, and then the following week I did an episode on Bella. And after that, my desensitization went away. I had to stop covering these cases of these little babies being killed by their parents. It was traumatizing.
All I could do was when you were talking about it too, my mind started drifting off because all I'm thinking about is this mother that her children, her three boys just wiped out, gone.
And all because you hate the mother.
Yeah. And just like
I suspect mom probably threatened to leave or something.
Right.
He was an asshole. The neighbors all said.
Threatened his fragile ego.
Yeah.
She threatened his little tiny fragile ego. And so instead he had to be the big man and he had to go after all of them and hunt them down one by one.
Yeah.
I have zero empathy for someone.
None. Nobody. No empathy whatsoever for this man.
No. Honestly, like I said, it's just so freaking heartbreaking. And like I said, I couldn't even imagine being in these people's shoes, especially when it's to the extreme. Like whether the men, I just don't understand this. Like why? Like it says a lot about their egos that they obviously are so insecure that they don't want anyone else to have you because they're gonna leave, and that you're ruining their effing life and this and that, and that they feel the need that, well, you know what, the only way I can do it, I'm gonna kill the kids. I'm gonna give her the pain for all the freaking whatever that she's given to me and blah 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 and stuff like that. And I can't understand that people take it to that level. Like, it happens so much with these domestic violence cases and stuff like that.
This next one is worse. Nothing is worse. They're all equally evil, but the details of this next one are just.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about
the guy in Florida that fed the kid at the crocodile or the alligator.
The crocodile. Yeah. Right.
Just because he hated the baby mama.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, go ahead and we'll talk about that. Montgomery. So Adam Montgomery, of course, has been charged. But go ahead, Charmaine.
Yeah, he's been charged with second-degree murder, which is mind-blowing. He was an
Little
abusive
Harmony.
asshole to his little girl, Harmony. He beat her regularly, and the one day he punched her so hard in the head enough times that he actually said out loud, "I think I really hurt her this time," and sure enough, she passed away.
Look at
They
her.
drove around. They were living in a car, and they drove around with her little body in the car for so many days until she started smelling. And then, from what I understand, he put her little body in a garbage bag and took it to work where he worked as a dishwasher and put it in the walk-in freezer for as long as he could. And then he took her out when she was frozen, bought lime and tried to dissolve and squish her body down. That's the witness's words, not mine. And then placed her inside of a duffel bag and put her in the rafters and and he would claim to people that Harmony was with her mom. Meanwhile, her mom was going through rehab and stuff and wasn't able to contact Harmony. When she was able to have contact with Harmony and this douchebag couldn't bring it up, she ended up calling the police saying she needs a welfare check done on her daughter. So yeah, he was finally arrested. He had some weapons charges he was found guilty for, and they finally got a confession from his then girlfriend, and they charged him with second-degree murder. So, when did I say his? February 6th. So
February 6th, yeah.
Yeah. So coming up, his trial is supposed to be February 6th, and he's not. He never talked. He never confessed. This is going to be a trial by evidence, I think. So it'll be interesting, and I hope he burns in the deepest depths of hell. I really do.
I know.
And Daisy says kept cashing in checks for Harmony's care.
Yeah, and they had food stamps, and they were getting, I don't know what it's called in the United States, but they were getting money for child care and all that stuff for her for all that time. Yeah, it's absolutely what they did is disgusting. What he did is horrible, and what his girlfriend did by not saying anything and continuing to cash those checks is just as bad. I mean, and there's another case that I didn't send to Sunny, and it was kind of a big case. It was Kalia Guyton. She was murdered by a man in 2022, and he was found. This case is absolutely terrible. We did 2 episodes on it because after our first episode came out, there was a woman that is involved who actually found the little girl's body. She actually sent us an email and wanted to talk on the podcast, so we interviewed her for a second for a follow-up. But anyways, this man, he was caught. He had blood all over him. The little girl had his shorts wrapped around her neck. His ID was like he did it. But now he's mentally incompetent to stand trial, and that was just decided last month, I believe. So we were all expecting trial to happen this summer, and so now it's been put off indefinitely because he needs mental health treatment before he can face charges for what he did to that poor little 2-year-old girl.
I know. Just it's just hard to sit there and look at these pictures. I don't care if it's Summer Wells. Like I said, look at Harmony. It's like they're just so freaking innocent.
Mm-hmm. And the next one, Evelyn Boswell too. Like
exactly. So go ahead. So the next one we're going to talk about quickly, Charmaine, is Megan Boswell makes a brief court appearance. New motions expected to be filed in January. Anyway, so go ahead with that case.
So I don't know if anybody's heard of the Megan Boswell case. This is Casey Anthony 2.0, but in my opinion, she's even worse than Casey Anthony. It was well over a year before Evelyn's little body was found. On my YouTube channel, I uploaded the video of the media interviewing Megan in the parking lot after a hearing for something unrelated. she carried on with this story that she knew who had her. The babysitter had Evelyn, and she was just trying to find her on her own. Like I said, Casey Anthony 2.0. And turns out, no, even her latest story doesn't ring true, but her latest story is that Evelyn died while she was co-sleeping with Megan and her then boyfriend Hunter, and they wrapped her up in, for whatever reason, she was found with a ball of tinfoil lodged in her throat. She had tinfoil wrapped around her, a blanket wrapped around her, and then put in a garbage bag and stuffed head first into a garbage bin at her dad's property. And her little remains were found. And it's terrible, but the medical examiner said that she was alive when she went into that garbage bin, and it was the tinfoil and the blanket that ended up asphyxiating her. So it's absolutely a brutal, brutal case. And like I said, if you have the video that I put on my YouTube channel, it's just her lying, and how good she is at lying is the reason I put it up there. But when is her, did I put down when her trial?
You put, let's see, for you just said Megan motions hearing.
Oh, right.
Must watch.
Right. This is another one that keeps getting put off because her story keeps changing.
Right.
Her story keeps changing. So eventually they will take her to trial. She's not taking any accountability. But it is definitely one to watch. If you don't know anything about it, go watch the video on my YouTube channel of her lying, and then from there you can search it, and just heartbreaking.
Charmaine, do you can you drop your, because some people don't have your YouTube channel on there. Whoops.
I can try. I don't have very many videos on there. I put this one on there today for Sunny. I think it was today.
True crime,
story.
True crime story podcast, I think it's called.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
You find it?
True crime. I always suck at this stuff. I think I have your link in the description though, so let me just take a look here.
Yeah, I've got it. I found it.
Did you find it?
Yeah.
Why not? I thought I had, or maybe I don't have it in this one. Okay, let me grab it again. Did you just post it?
Yeah. I think so.
Okay. Oh, there it is. Okay.
Yeah. So those are the cases that I'm watching in 2024. Other than I didn't follow Lori Vallow. Obviously, I watched the Netflix thing, so I know about it. But she's just crazy pants. So it just gives me a headache to even follow it. But Chad Daybell's trial is televised starting April 1st, 2024. Right. For anybody that's interested. I know that Sunny and Aspen are not following it either on this channel. But just kind of an FYI, it's there.
Yeah. Sorry, just trying to save your link, because I know I had done it in one, but sometimes if I use another video, I pull it. So if anyone doesn't remember or whatever that's watching this, in the description of this video is Charmaine's link to her channel on there. Okay, and the last thing I want to talk about is Gypsy Rose Blanchard. So basically this mom has, to everyone's like the outside eyes, that she was this amazing mother that was just tending to her leukemia, asthmatic, Lyme disease or whatever it was, all these different issues that she had that she didn't have. And so everyone just thought, like I said, money's rolling in, story catches on, blah, blah, blah. All to come to find out, it was just a bunch of lies, once this story, of course, broke open and stuff like that. And then there's this this movie, I think it's called Tangled, that she was allowed to watch all the time or whatever, and how it depicted, basically, it's like someone being in almost like a cult, and it's, you know what I mean? Like, I can understand Gypsy's thought process as a child, that when your mommy tells you to do something, like this is your mom. Okay, mom. Like, I know you're doing what's best for me. And so anyways, what's your thoughts on this case about the fact that, she participated in the sense of, and planning to kill her mother. And it was like a child that just wanted to escape this evil person, really.
Munchausen by proxy, I believe it's called, what her mother had made her feel, or not even treated her and brought her up as a sick little girl.
Yeah.
So to want to realize that you're not sick, you're okay, and your mom is not allowing you to be a normal child, I can understand where some mental health issues would come into play. What I can't understand is, how do we go from I'm okay, I'm not sick, to I better kill my mom. Like, there's still, and I'm all for, reforming mental health, and people need treatment and all this stuff, and I get it. I've dealt with it. The people that have serious mental issues, they don't have control, they can't control their actions. I understand that. That doesn't change the end result of what they did. So I don't know what the answer is, but I struggle with, not in Canada, it's called NCR, not criminally responsible. I understand that, but there still has to be consequences. So we've got, I'm countless cases, but the Brentwood 5 comes to mind first off. He killed 5 of his friends. He was schizophrenic at the time. He is medicated now. He is in a halfway house now, and he's about to be set free. And this happened, I'm going to say maybe 2014. He has not paid any kind of debt to society or to the victims' families. Vincent Lee, he beheaded a boy on a Greyhound bus. He served a few years. He got medicated. He was set free and given a new identity in Canada, and he is now free. And all it takes is maybe for him to stop taking his medication one day, even though he promises he won't.
Right.
Sometimes they do.
Right.
I mean, where is the accountability?
That's
in
that's
CR cases. Where's the answer? There is no easy answer. I understand that, but I just really struggle with not criminally responsible.
Yeah. Like, obviously, like, you can see how the times have changed. Like, everything nowadays, like, it seems like the go-to is mental health. Mental health. Everything is mental health. Mental health. Everyone's off because of their mental health and mental health. And again, for me, it becomes to me between someone that truly has mental health issues, or people that are just kind of using it. Like I said, we have mental health issues. All of us probably in here.
I don't think anyone can argue that Gypsy Rose was clearly the victim of some
absolutely
horrific mental abuse for years and years and years. So I mean, I get 100% what Sunny's saying. Like, I think it is an easy go-to because we all do have we all have mental health issues, if you will.
Yeah.
And of course, to be able to weaponize that is a different story. But like, I think in Gypsy Rose's case,
I think her case,
anyone could be, could claim to have been victimized. She was victimized. It does not excuse her conspiring to commit murder against her mother.
Well, that's the thing, and that's why she did 8 years.
Right, and she did, and so that was what she was sentenced to. I think she was sentenced to 9 or 10, but it's like she served the sentence that she was, so she served her time. She's now been legally released from prison, and that comes with a lot of limitations as far as getting a job, blah 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 blah. But we're now seeing, I think, the first example of a really high-profile person being released from prison in the social media era. And what we're witnessing is someone that came out of prison on day one with 4 million TikTok subscribers,
Right.
which is, you know, is fine, but it's an automatic stream of revenue that's substantial.
Yeah.
So you're now then profiting off of the notoriety you have because of something you did,
right,
and then went to jail for.
Yeah.
And that's where the moral dilemma comes into play.
But the thing is,
but clearly a lot of people don't have that moral dilemma because now 13 or 14 million people are following her on social media.
That's right.
Well, that's
and
the thing,
so she's benefiting from that greatly financially.
but she's benefiting, but she didn't ask for all those people to follow her. You know, like, do you know what I mean? It's not like how like people, YouTube creators, you know, you're creating content. What?
Yeah, those accounts were set up
did?
in preparation for her release.
Yeah.
Between her and her husband, the docuseries team was there to watch her leave prison, to film her leave prison. It's all being filmed for a documentary. Their profit has been
I'm not
from before she even walked out of prison.
Well, now I'm not saying that there was no profit in general at all. I'm not, because obviously, but I just mean like for Instagram and whatever, people are flocking to it. Like, meaning, like I said, so, but it's the people out there, the, you know, like you and I or whoever else or whatever, that they flock or whatever, and then they start subscribing, you know, to our Instagram. Like that wasn't planned. Like, obviously, like, I mean, I didn't, like, did you even think that's like Gypsy Rose Blanchard or freaking Instagram was going to blow up the way it did, in a sense? And it's crazy to watch.
Not that much.
But the thing is that obviously it's no different to me than Chad Daybell, not Chad Daybell. What's his face? Oh my God, why can't I think of his name? You know, the case that I don't cover either because I think he's an arrogant piece of shit. The one that killed his wife, the pregnant wife, and put the kids in the oil
Chris
well.
Watts.
Thank you, Chris Watts. Wouldn't come to my mind. Like, that whole thing is such a joke to me. It's like, even Rex Heuermann's wife, here, let's just pay you $1 million, you know, so we can tell a story of your life and stuff like that. You know, people cannot just turn away from money, for sure. But with Gypsy Rose, so granted, I was going to say, absolutely, this girl this woman now has mental health issues. Anyone that has kind of lived her lifestyle in that pigsty of a home, everything has been a lie to her from her mother, from the Hurricane Katrina, and getting money and getting a home built from Humanity for Habitat. Everything has been a lie to this girl. And now she said that there was 3 things. Because, you know, like basically 3 things. It was that she tried to basically make it seem like they were going to meet up at some sort of movie or something like that. That they were going to meet up at some sort of movie, and kind of like that is her mom Dee Dee would get to know what's his name? Nick? Is it Nick? Nick?
And he's serving a life sentence.
Wait, Nick is the one that was. It's Nick, right? Nick is the boyfriend. I think that's his name. Anyways, so basically she tried that. And then she said something like the other thing was, you know, to basically get pregnant and married or blah, blah, blah. Right. Or basically the other option was now, you know, to kill her, basically, to get away from her, to escape from her. So let me put it this way. We could never imagine what Gypsy Rose, because she knew for a longer time that she was able to walk, and she was like, but Mom, I can walk, Mom, I can eat. And then to have to watch these movies where you see like Cinderella, like the wicked evil stepmom in a sense, and you know, you're chained to your room and you have to do this and that and this and that. I can understand. Let me put it this way. She is one of the people that I can understand that went to this level.
Right.
But there's no justification for murder. But in her case, I actually have very much remorse and sadness for her, because when I put myself in what this child has gone through all the lies of her mother, all the scamming, all the tying her, I think, to the handcuffing her to the bed and stuff like that for 3 days, the pigsty house, like, meaning, like, to live in that type of life, I can understand why
Right.
to get rid of her mother. Like,
right.
So I don't want to justify killing anyone, but at least hers, I can see how it went from point A to where it ended up, because if remember those two brothers, those two brothers that are
Menendez brothers.
Yeah, like, so if it's true what happened to them, right, like, let's just say it is true about the sexual abuse and all that stuff, again, you can understand where a child might break and go to that level.
Right.
So I think it's for me, it's always each individual case I look at as by itself.
And I do want to say, I think that Gypsy Rose should be allowed to make a living off of it. I'm not criticizing that she has 13 or 14 million followers on social media. I'm surprised by the public interest in her to the point where that many people are going to financially support her through those avenues. I think it'll be really interesting, because she is now, and I feel bad for her because the girl's been a victim her whole life, and now she's put into a position where she has a voice to speak for others, and people are going to probably be listening to that voice to hear what she has to say, and that's a huge weight to have on your shoulders. And so I don't envy her. The only hesitation I have with the social media aspect is that I don't like to see people that, I don't want to see it glorified to the point where someone else thinks, well, if I go through an equally horrible experience, if I take this same action to resolve my problem, I can have the same outcome as this person.
Right. We can't make it okay.
And I know that's a leap and a bound away, but I mean, kids at home, you never know what's going to inspire someone, and if you literally are living in hell every day of your life, and you look and all of a sudden someone like Gypsy Rose pops up, and you look at her story, and you see what she endured and what she went through, what she chose to do, the consequence she paid for it, and now the reward that she's reaping from having gone through that pain. I just don't want someone else to look at that as a blueprint for how they should handle the hell they're going through.
I agree.
You know what she kind of reminds me of partially? I was watching her on this podcast, and it was a good couple hours long, and she speaks very well.
Absolutely.
She talks very well, and she was like, some people go to prison or whatever, and but she goes, for her, she felt like it was like freedom, like in the way she said it was like, kind of like you're in a world of another world in a sense, because for her it's like she had these things where she could work and earn money, she could learn, and she could do all these things. She said some people go through prison and they don't want to make themselves better. I wanted to make myself better. She reminds me of the BTK's daughter somewhat, a little bit that way, that I see her kind of like, I probably see her more being an advocate along the way here, being a voice. And I don't know why, but for some reason I'm getting, I can't think of her name.
Carrie Rawson.
What is it?
Carrie Rawson.
That's it. Thank you. For some reason. Anyways, regardless, anyone that has, like, for instance, for me, there's always these cases that come along that somehow overleap tons of other cases. They just hit the media the right way, people's hearts the right way. Gypsy Rose is one of those cases that most people will not experience probably the dollars that's going to come to this girl. and that's the part where it seems unbalanced, because there's always these stories that for some reason like get so heightened, worldwide, like Nicola Bulley's case, became national and stuff like that. And it's just sometimes, whatever the reason is, that people pick up on these certain stories. And to me, Gypsy Rose Blanchard was one of them. And so no one's going to look a gift horse in the mouth as money's going to come at them, especially someone that's been sitting in prison. She's married, type of thing. And, but yet she hadn't consummated the marriage yet until she got out and stuff like that. I really enjoyed listening to her on that podcast. Like I said, she spoke well. She talked. She just reminded me of Carrie, like I said, from the BTK's daughter there. And anyways, bottom line is, I wish her well. I wish her all the healing. She's done her time. She did participate. She did her time. And now, I can see that she does have a lot better choices, more freedom. I just can't help but just feel so bad for this child, that you're born and then your mother is literally not only keeping you away from your father, the mother has this fake persona to the world. This child is getting in and out of hospitals. Literally, she's getting sick, even though she's not sick, because of the medication her mom is feeding her. Anyways, my heart goes more out to the daughter, to be honest, in this case, than it does the mother.
For sure.
I feel like...
You mean to Gypsy?
The Gypsy, yes. Like,
100%.
Goes out to Gypsy in this particular case, because this child's life has been ripped apart from her. Yeah. And it went to the extreme that she felt
her mother was a monster.
Yeah, but that's exactly what it is. It's like, to me, this monster. I mean, look at that medicine cabinet case. That was just ridiculous. All the medication that was in there. The place was a pigsty, and then the shackling of her when she went and met the first boyfriend or whatever and stuff like that. Anyways, Dee Dee was a monster and faked everybody out, scammed all these different organizations and stuff like that. For me, I'm just saying, for me with Gypsy here, like I said, I wish you the best in life. I wish that everything that you've suffered from, you can turn it around into the positive. And that's how I see Gypsy Rose in all of this, turning things from all the bad stuff that happened to her, paying for the crime that she did, and then moving on, and hopefully to a lot of fucking therapy and healing along the way. Anyways, that's about all I had to say for tonight.
I have one more, just little tidbit of information if anybody's interested. So the John Bonet case, my suspect, Gary Oliva, is a prolific pedophile. He's a terrible, terrible human being, and he's my main suspect for John Bonet's murder. He has served his natural sentence. He will be a free man at the end of March of this year.
Really?
So everybody is aware this man is going to be back on the street carrying pictures of JonBenet Ramsey. I hope they don't give him his taser back. But yes, he's being released from prison in March.
Wow.
I did not know that.
You and Chris Todd should get together and interview him.
I feel like
I would rather
I'm
put
kidding.
poop in my hands and clap. No. No offense to Chris Todd.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Anyways, you guys, it's been a great night. A lot of talk about the different coverage. I know that there's a lot more stories out there, some that we missed, but it takes a lot of work to put a video together and try to gather information. And obviously we're at, I think, where's Lacey? Because Lacey, wasn't she complaining the other night?
She was.
And she was here earlier.
Was she? Okay. Well, there you go, Lacey. 2 hours and 50 minutes exactly. Right. So with that being said, tomorrow I got to remind the husband that he's taking me for footage of the Picton pig farm. So, and then on Friday, Aspen and myself will be with Criminality. we'll basically just a YOLO live. We'll be discussing different things
on her channel, right?
Yeah, on her channel. Yeah, for that. So that's what we're up to. Because I didn't, because I knew I was going to the Picton farm. I didn't really want to pick a day on the day off because me and Charmaine will be doing and Adam, don't forget, you're not invited. We'll be doing true crime on Saturday because Adam, you don't know I'm going to show up anyway. Yeah, all I'm have to do is say I'm going to show up, and then he's not. So, but we're doing the Picton anyways. Adam, you can come. You're always more than welcome. But we always,
really quickly there, that actually you said Picton at me, but there's another trial that I followed. I know a few people in here have as well. There's a trial also coming in April, I believe, of this year for the final defendant for the Piketon. Sounds like Picton, Piketon County. Pike County massacre in Ohio, which would be the George Senior. So that's another trial that's coming up this year that I forgot to include earlier.
Yeah, there's honestly there's so many that I follow and look at, and again,
a lot of trials this year coming up.
Thankfully,
this year I really want this channel to grow, a lot, like start growing a lot faster than what it is, but we have to find a rhythm. We haven't found that rhythm yet, in a sense, because we've been so caught up with certain cases, and it's wanting to cover a bunch of different cases, because there are so many out there. There's so many interesting things, so many interesting cases out there, like the Vesper one I was talking to you about the other day. I haven't sent it to you, but that's when I was talking about the other day.
Oh, thank you, Daisy. Thank you so much, Daisy.
$4.99. Thank you.
Yeah. So thank you to the memberships that were given out. Thank you to the super chats. Thank you, Daisy, for the $1.99. Are you out of your mind? Thank you guys so much. And so tomorrow, I'm just gonna go out there right now. Probably, I told husband, can you by chance make your lunch for tomorrow? And then, and this is what he gave me, but I don't trust him. I'm not sure if you can see it. Big
thumbs up.
Yeah. And I'm just like, yeah, sure, that's gonna happen.
Charmaine, thank you for being here tonight. I always value your input and like the cases. I mean, even though like I'm still not over your like description of some of them, but
I was gonna fix my camera for a sec. I couldn't see.
Like way to tug at my heart, but thank you so much.
I don't know why these horrible cases come across my mind to cover, and I sink myself into such darkness. I apologize, but they're important, and hopefully everybody will get justice this year, and then 2024 will be a much more positive year. We'll just get lots of justice and very few crimes, and it'll be just good. It'll be good.
Yeah.
It's going to be good.
Well, it's the year of manifestation, right?
Yes. It's going to be good.
Yeah.
Right? Right? Tell me it's going to be good.
It's going to be good.
I think it will be.
I do too.
For
Angels
me.
on your pillows. Thank you, Sharon. Yeah, and you guys, thank you guys very much for hanging with us tonight, all you faithful, loyal subscribers. And I wish we need I want a name. Like these people are walking around going, like JLR's Army, Grey Hughes Freaks, what is it? I'm trying to think of the other one that was on my head. But anyways, I'm just like, shamers? What are they called? The crimers. I don't know. Like Grizzly has
the Panthers, the Pink Panthers, Sunny and Aspen Pink Panthers. Remember?
Yeah,
remember
I remember.
Westies?
I remember Panthers. Does anyone like Panthers?
I think all of those are. I think it's all cheesy.
You should. We like cheese. We like cheese. Okay, we like cheese, don't we, guys? We like cheese sauce and wine sauce. We like all that sauce, right?
Well, what's Tom's? Are we Sluther Vandross's? You can steal his.
That's quite the name, isn't it? Anyways,
something.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah.
I know. Where's he been? He hasn't even been making fun of the news. What the hell
I
is
think
wrong?
he's got. I think he's got live in like what, 8 days,
Yes.
7 days.
Yes.
I have a
Oh,
countdown. I have a countdown on my phone to the second, but I just haven't looked lately.
I don't know. All I know is that we're gonna go.
Okay, I'm going to bed, so I won't see you backstage, everybody. And thank you
No,
for
you
having
go. I know I gotta go
Yeah,
pee
go to bed
myself
too.
here. To be honest with you, I'm just like going. Ooh, I gotta go.
But yeah, everyone, Friday night we will not be doing a live on this channel, but we will be
Criminality.
on Teresa's on
Peace out.
criminality.
Can't you
I
like
believe-
stream to yours from hers? Isn't there a way you can?
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of I don't ever really think about it that much. Could ask her. I don't know.
It's more work because then we have to keep up with the chat too.
Yeah, like I couldn't be like, for me at the moment I can't be asked, like, give her the clicks and views, and
it's kind of nice just to be able to sit and be a guest, because you don't have to do the other stuff.
well, we don't have to actually do anything because you just live stream it and people
Right,
from
but when
town-
someone goes on your channel, then we their chats,
Yeah, well, true enough. I mean, honestly, yeah, we're just gonna go relax, to be honest, and just do our thing. But yeah,
And like put a link to that somewhere so that people who don't follow Teresa, they can just click the link.
you guys all follow Teresa. Anyone that's watching right now follows Criminality. Okay, fine, I'll go find it. Criminality. Let me see. Oh. Oh, I can see our own live here. Crimes. Come on, Teresa. Criminal. I got it. Where is it?
And then while Sunny's doing that, and of course, anyone that is not, doesn't follow the docket, go follow the docket. We'll be doing a live stream with the docket.
Oh yeah.
Soon.
Where can I find it?
I look forward to that.
I don't know. Where can I find it?
What can't you find?
Maybe it's like Tuesday. I need to go bathroom so bad. Criminality. Yeah. I don't normally have a problem finding it.
Criminal. IT.
Yeah, criminality. Okay, I know what I'll do. Delphi. Then it should come up. Oh, there she is. Okay, hold on. Oh, it's Criminality TC. Her channel's underneath it. Okay, so I'll put that in here as well. So Criminality. So if anyone's watching this or watching this later, don't forget, you guys, please give the video a like and a share if you don't mind. It means a lot to us. One day we're going to hit the algorithm, Adam. One day we're going to hit that algorithm. Anyways, thanks a lot again, and thanks to the docket. Thanks to Travis. Thank you guys all.
We'll finally hit the algorithm, Sunny, and then you'll be like, who are these new people? I don't know you in the chat. Get out.
Yeah, you're blocked.
Sunny will be like, I don't recognize these names. They're trolls. Get out.
Yeah. Anyways, okay, guys, you guys have a great night. Love you all.
Hey, good night.
Okay, bye, guys.
Good night,
Thanks
everyone.
again, Charmaine. Thanks, Adam. This is Sunny Justice and Aspen Connor from It's a Crime Shame, wishing you all a good